Fresh energy every morning, full of fire and glory. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Your daily dose, here we go. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Only on GhanaTalks radio. Turn it up and stay tuned for the talk that moves you and keeps your heart in tune. From the traffic to the trends, we got something for your day. Every voice, every vision, lighting up the way. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Your daily dose, here we go. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. When you see cause on air, where the spark inside the flame, from the first line to the last mile, we're so high. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Your daily dose, here we go.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Wake up, Ghana, your morning star, right? Lose views.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
From Accra to the world, we bring the fresh stories, fresh energy every morning, full of fire and glory. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Your daily dose, here we go. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Only on GhanaTalks radio. Turn it up and stay tuned for the talk that moves you and keeps your heart in tune. From the traffic to the trends, we got something for your day. Every voice, every vision, lighting up the way. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Your daily dose, here we go. GhanaTalks breakfast.
Good morning to you, and you are welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. This is your morning companion, and you're welcome to the show. This is the first segment, and right here we bring you all the latest headlines making waves in the news, from business to politics, from sports to entertainment. We got you covered with the most relevant stories and informed perspectives on issues that matter to you every morning right here on the show. My name is Ruth Esenam Fiagbedu, and I'll be serving you breakfast this morning with Ms. Regina Bless and Mr. B Adoso. Good morning to you, ladies, and you are welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
Hope all is well.
My grace is sufficient.
Ms. Regina, how are you feeling today?
I'm fine. You?
I'm good. It's good to have you, or it's good to see you this morning. You're looking all ravishing. Yesterday we didn't learn a new word for looking nice.
Yeah, we would have to look for that.
Yeah.
It's always important to at least
Learn
learn one
something.
vocabulary.
Yeah, every day.
So every day we learn vocabulary
we learn vocabulary
through entertainment.
Yes. Right, let's get into the news items for this morning. And this is from Backben. Parents who send children abroad too early to study don't love them. Speaker of Parliament Alban Backben has criticized parents who send their children abroad to study at a very young age, arguing that it can weaken their connection to their families in Ghana. Speaking at the launch of the National Integrity Award scheme, Mr. Bagbin urged parents to allow their children to complete their basic and secondary education in Ghana before pursuing further studies abroad. He believes children who grow up and receive much of their education in Ghana are more likely to develop a strong sense of family, culture, and patriotism, and may be willing to return home after studying abroad. According to him, sending children overseas at an early age can make them lose touch with their families and their sense of belonging to Ghana. Mr. Bagbin therefore appealed to parents to reconsider the practice and focus on raising their children in Ghana during their formative years before exposing them to international opportunities at a later stage. His comments have sparked debates about the benefits and disadvantages of sending children abroad for education at a young age, especially as many parents see international education as an opportunity for better academic and career perspectives. So this is from the Speaker of Parliament, and he's saying that the parents that take their children overseas at a very tender age, it means that you don't actually love these children. You don't make them belong to the country. At least allow them to have their basic education and secondary education right here in Ghana, and then afterwards they can go outside the country and pursue other dreams. But for the fact that at a tender age, basic education, when you're 6 years, then you fly him or her away out of the country. When it happens like that, the child doesn't actually know what Ghana is all about, and it hurts them. So due to that, if you send your child out of the country at a very tender age, it means you don't love them. Miss Virginia, I think yesterday you saw this and you were like, hey thing, is it not true? And now you don't agree with Bagbin.
In some aspects I would agree with him, and in some aspects I wouldn't agree with him, because how can you tell a parent that they don't love their kids once they take them outside Ghana, especially at a very young age? One thing we need to realize is we don't really know the circumstances guiding that decision as to why they took their kids out of Ghana at a very young age. Now, in some aspects, the main reason why I do agree with him is because as he said, these kids need to have a sense of belonging. But once at a young age, as a 6, 5, obimpo di neba no nge owo no breastfeeding no be 2 months and no or the neko. And I sometimes ask myself, you are not there with that child at that very age, so automatically you become a stranger to him or her when he grows up, and he wouldn't even see the need as to why he would travel back into the country. That is his homeland though. Now when he gets there at that young age, his system automatically begins to adapt to the culture there. Ne kasa krampo sesa so he might think, if he's not being told that he's a Ghanaian, he might think that he belongs to that culture. And I would say that gradually, we Ghanaians are beginning to lose our sense of belonging to this other culture. Sisi ano obi ko penyimpo ko penyi already 20, 21 oko oju ha 1 week na ne kasa asesa. Akoye said they are not even proud of where they are coming from, and that sends a signal that doesn't mean that they've always been wanting to change their environment. It's good to change your environment, but one thing we should realize is you can't change your culture and who you are. This is the opportunity for us to even go to the outside world, to the Western world, outside your country, and even showcase where you are coming from. There's this young lady on Instagram. She's very dark, tall, slender, and very beautiful. And once you see her, you see that this is an exhibit of Ghanaian. She does everything Ghanaian. There's no single day you see her wearing something like this. Maybe be African prints. And even if that day she doesn't have an African print on, she has something on her that symbolizes Ghanaian. And I really love that for her. And she has used that avenue as a place where, should I say, she would be either cashing out or getting the fame. Because when people see her, oh, I like your skin, I like your hair, I like your dress, and she's selling Ghana out. But so sometimes I ask myself, so what was that one decision? Because I feel like it's a hardest decision for you to send your child off at that very age. Is it education? Mind you, we have better educations right here in Ghana where you can enroll your child to. Is it healthcare facilities? We have enough and good healthcare facilities. When you go to this private and big hospitals, they have it. So why are you taking your child there? So as I'm saying, it's a 50-50. We can't say the parents don't love their kids, because automatically they love every parent love their kids. No matter how sometimes these parents exhibit that, oh, we hate you, they'll be giving you abusive and bullying words, they still love them. So Mr. Bagbin, I think with what he's saying, it is the right thing to say, and parents should also relax. Let the child go through the phase of their basic education here. Let them create that connection to the culture, to the family, and also to the house. See, the main reason why we have this distance relationship when it comes to family, and we seeing ourselves as strangers in our own families, because of all these petty things. Once in a while, the family comes together to bond. But the only time you get to talk to each other is through either FaceTime or WhatsApp messages, and that is all. We need to build a connection, and it's very important.
We need to build a connection, and it's very, very, very important. I don't know if you've come across this, the handle of this lady. When she starts her vlog, she starts with Ghana 4.
Yeah. Oh, is it Melissa?
Manasseh or
Manasseh.
She has a Ghanaian name.
Hey, Ghana 4.
She's now learning how to speak the local language.
Yeah. You see,
yeah, she mentioned that when she was at a tender age, she was taken to Canada to go and for education, and now she feel like she has to come. So she comes to Ghana and then leave. Her parents are here in Ghana, and she's now learning the tree. And if you see the way she's struggling, so assuming we allow the kids actually have at least their basic and secondary education here, they've learned the language. So when they go there, it's now like that does not mean that in as much as your language will be that rusty, but you wouldn't find it difficult as this lady that I'm using as an example. She's actually finding it difficult. Sometimes she speaks the language, and in the comment section they have to correct it. So you see, Ms. Debbie, should we prioritize allowing our children have their local education here before sending them outside the country to pursue other careers?
One question we should ask ourselves is, why would a parent decide to send their kids abroad for a better education? It should tell you that there are more to do with our education system. Now, the very people who tells us that it is good to allow your child have his early education right here in Ghana before going abroad, how many of their kids are in Ghana here studying? Some of them give birth to their wards outside the country, and then they grow there. It is maybe there is an anniversary home, or someone is dead, and then you see them coming home. But on a normal basis, or maybe Christmas festivities, you see them coming home to enjoy the Christmas and then go back. Most of these people who tells us that, it is good, allow your child to have basic education here before going abroad, they have their kids abroad. Yes, it is good to know your tradition, it is good to know your culture, but we are missing something out. The right thing needs to be done. If our education system is good, if everything is on point, I'm not sure people even send their wards outside to further their education.
So you think the problem has to do with the education system?
Yes, that is it.
But not a personal decision.
Not a personal decision. And sincerely speaking, personally, if I have my way out, there is no way I will personally allow my kids to study right here in Ghana. Yes. but I will try my possible best that they know my tongue, they can speak my dialect. For that I will do it, but for them to have education right here in Ghana, I wouldn't do that. Sincerely speaking, I will not, because the system here is not that favorable. I wouldn't say the system is that bad, because it is that same system that trained me into who I am today. But then there are a lot of things that needs to be fixed. So even if when we divert a bit from the education to the healthcare system, we have people travel abroad to give birth. They travel abroad, but we have hospitals here. We have midwives here that are so good. So why do you travel outside? It comes up with a lot of questions. So with Speaker Bagbin, what he's saying is it is not bad, because we have some kids that grow up there, and the thing is, when you grow up abroad, you see the environment, you see how good the system is and how favorable the system is, and then you come to Ghana, the weather alone discourages you. You will not even love to stay here. You like to come on based on vacations, or maybe when there is a program. But aside them, you coming to stay here in this hot weather and see that they wouldn't come. So you see, we need to fix what needs to be fixed. And when you listen to Speaker Bagbin speak, he said it, that we need to also fix the education system. That is also very necessary. Because when we don't do that, they will keep sending their awards abroad. And personally, as I said, if I find my way one day outside the country, I'm not sure I will allow my kids have study here in Ghana. You will study abroad from basic to university. You study abroad, but then I will ensure that you know how to speak my mother tongue. That's what that one year. It's something that I will teach you to learn. So we need to fix. The right thing needs to be done.
The right thing needs to be done. We should fix education system and also fix our healthcare system as well. Proceeding to our next news item. Akachia replaces Andy Apiakubi as Wontumi's counsel in 30 million Ghana cedis Exim Bank case. Private legal practitioner Samuel Atachia has taken over as the new lawyer for NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Antwi Boesiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, in the 30 million Ghana cedis Exim Bank case. The change in legal representation was announced when Wontumi appeared before the Accra High Court yesterday, 27th July. Mr. Atachia told the court that Wontumi's previous lead counsel, Andy Apiakubi, had withdrawn his legal services. He has therefore taken over the case and will represent both Wontumi and his company, Wontumi Farms Limited. The case involves an alleged 30 million Ghana cedis financial transaction linked to the Exports and Imports Bank of Ghana. Wontumi's court appearance comes just a week after he was sentenced to 20 years in prison in a separate illegal mining case. Several senior NPP members were also present at the court to support him. The latest development comes after the Attorney General reportedly rejected a plea bargain proposal submitted by Wontumi in connection with the Exim Bank case. Wontumi is in the news again, and this time around is for a different case. And there's been a change of lawyer again. Formerly, his lawyer was Andy Apiakubi, and now changed to Akachia, the same man that's left him to attend his daughter's graduation. And yesterday, when this news came up in the comment section, someone was like, "Oh, we are here. He will go for his son's graduation again." All right, Ms. Debbie, do you think that a change in legal representation is actually going to hurt Wontumi's case, or is going to help him in a way?
It depends on the lawyer. It depends on how good the lawyer is, because there are instances where a murderer even goes in for a lawyer. There is a clear evidence that this person is a murderer. But at the end of the day, the lawyer finds its way round and ensure that his or her client comes out so clean. So it depends. Now, yesterday, fortunately enough, I came across an interview with not Asachia, no, Richard Ahiagba, communication director for NPP, and then he said that so actually the change of lawyer came because there was a directive from the New Patriotic Party that they will need to change Kubi to Atachia, and that is because they believe that the arrest of Chemawun to me is a political arrest, and that is why they term Chemawun to me as a political prisoner. And so for that, they think that it will be best if they change Apia Kubi to Atachia. Now, another question people were asking is that, so are you trying to say that Apia Kubi is not good enough?
It's
and
not competent.
yes, and that Atachia is more competent when it has to do with the law than Apia Kubi. He said it has nothing to do with Apia Kubi. This is the party. They see it as a political witch hunt, and then they want to back. So it's like the MPP is now taking this upon themselves to fight for Chemawun to me. Now, on the side of the lawyer states that a client, it is nowhere stated in a law that a person would decide for a client which lawyer you're supposed to go in for. So imagine you have a case in court. Your parents cannot decide for you the type of lawyer you should go in for. Your party should not decide for you the type of lawyer you should go in for. It is the client that need to determine that this is the lawyer or this is the counsel I want him or her to stand in for me. So at the side of the law, in a way, it looks as if it is not right. But when you look at the political side, MPP are taking this on because they feel like Chemawun to be is arrested based on politics and not because of what he did. That is what they see.
So are they trying to say that they don't see anything wrong with what Wontumi did?
That is what they are saying. That is what they are saying. They don't see anything wrong with that, because if they do, I'm not sure that they will give a directive that Apia Kubi should resign. And then if you look at this, Apia Kubi is not a small lawyer. This is a lawyer that has been has taken a lot of cases, and then he succeeded. So this is not the first time. And then not only Atachia, I think there is another MPP lawyer. So they've picked Atachia with some MPP lawyers that are going to stand in for Chemawun to me. But this morning I also saw that Chemawun to me is pleading with President Mahama for mercy. Yes. That issue should temper justice with mercy.
In your opinion, do you think that President Mahama would allow that? Would pardon him?
He might. He might or he might not.
If he does, what does that mean for us against the fight?
It means we are not ready, and Galamsey is not ending anytime soon.
Because you mentioned that when you come, you are going to arrest the kingpin, and you've grabbed one person, and now you want to pardon the person.
So the president has two options. The president can either give a directive or allow the law to take its course. Now the law states that if you are being accused of a crime and you've been convicted, you can plead for bargain. That is a plea bargain. So that is what MPP are trying to do. So when they plead for that, the court will now have to decide on what grounds are you pleading on, because Chemawun to me is not being accused of one crime. I think the Summer Boy case is what it is based on that case that they've given him 20 years in jail. We now have the Exim Bank, the case with the Exim Bank, and then we also have the case with the Town on Imri Forest, and then that case is still in court, and that is why Wounds to me is still appearing in court, because they are not done with that issue. So when they are done with that issue, there is a possibility that Chemawun to me will even spend more than 20 years in jail. Because after they are done with Exim Bank, if he's found guilty, he might be sentenced, and we don't know the number of years he will be given. And then with the Town on Imri Forest, when they are done with that case, there is a big possibility that he will still be sentenced. So the probability of Chemawun to me being in jail for more than 20 years, I can tell you that is assured. So the lawyers will now have to come in and then do something. Right. But the fact that there is a change in the law, yes, there is something not clear with that. Because if you listen to Ahiagba speak, I feel like they are hiding something.
You think so?
Yeah.
Allegedly. Miss Regina.
So, Wound to me has the right to choose who who or whoever
will represent him.
Asemo would represent him here in court, since he's the one paying for the services. And if I'm not okay with someone, the person has to go, no matter who you are. So it is his decision, it is his resources, and since this issue has been brought into the public, I think they should do us a favor and really explain to us. They shouldn't be giving us short stories, because we are not interested in short stories. They should tell us why has Andy withdrawn his services from this case. I quite say any lawyer that comes would withdraw. He attached himself at a point, and then it wasn't him.
He wasn't rather available for when the judgment was.
The whole case was started by Apia Kubi.
And he withdrew.
Yes.
And Atacha came. And Atacha went again. And Apia Kubi came.
No,
it's a different case.
It's a different case.
Yeah, this is the exam.
Okay, so it was during the your friend is saying illegal mining. Yeah. Oh, okay. And so it is his money. Me, I can't say anything about it because I don't know what is going on. It's true now. It is his money, because if someone like this neglected you
and everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they've gone back to the man that neglected him.
Yeah, right. Yesterday I read the headline and it reads that NPP takes over Wontumi's case as legal representative.
Say you were her, could you or home? Could you? So uncle represent maybe
in law. No, it's not for court. It's not for.
Okay, it's for educator.
Yeah, or an analyst.
Okay, so good luck to him.
Good luck to him.
Because me, dear, I don't trust it.
The fact that his plea bargain has been rejected actually makes me kind of like, I wouldn't say sad, but it's going to be a long ride if you ask me.
You know the good thing to do. You should have done it longer. That's why they say, had I known, it's always at last. Always be careful.
But when this whole Chamawuntumi issue was came up, didn't the party actually know that he was involved in all this scandal? And when they were in power, what did they do about it? And waited for a different political party to come into power, and then they are taking legal actions.
No, from what I heard, the investigation started way back 2022.
Exactly. So what did they do as a party? Did they call him to order? Did they caution him?
They didn't, because they thought they would forever be in power.
They'll forever be in power, saying. Let's move on. Xenophobic attacks. Ramaphosa vows crack down on perpetrators. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has promised firm action against people responsible for xenophobic attacks as concerns grow over violence targeting foreign nationals in the country. Speaking to members of the Pan-African Parliament, President Ramaphosa described the attacks as sad and abhorrent and expressed regret over the deaths and injuries recorded. He acknowledged that South Africans have concerns about illegal migration and its impact on jobs and the economy. However, he stressed that such concerns cannot justify violence, intimidation, or attacks against foreigners. The president said his government would not tolerate xenophobia or amphophobia and has strengthened the enforcement of existing laws to maintain public order and protect the rights of everyone living in South Africa, including foreign nationals. Meanwhile, the Ghanaian government is working to evacuate nearly 1,000 Ghanaians from South Africa following the renewed attacks. The evacuation is expected to take place in phases, with the first groups arriving in Ghana on July 26th. That was yesterday, and today too some people will also be arriving. The situation has renewed concern about the safety of Ghanaian nationals in South Africa and the need for stronger measures to prevent xenophobic violence across the continent. Now we are hearing from Cyril Ramaphosa. the South African president that he is going to make sure that he crack down on all perpetrators and also take action against them, because now I say like the pressure is mounting, and he described the attacks as sad. Hey, is it now that you are seeing the attacks as sad, Ramaphosa? Miss Regina?
So leadership, I always say that leadership, it takes a brave, a reasonable and a sensible person to assume a duty of leadership. And excuse me to say this, the South African president Ramaphosa is let me be kind with my words.
Please.
He's a red flag when it comes to leadership. He doesn't really understand leadership. He doesn't understand the concept of leadership. He doesn't understand what leadership entails. Because if he does, with this statement alone, he wouldn't even come out to talk. In fact, he shouldn't come out to talk. This issue started way back. Was it last month? Was it last 2 months? And this man was silent for as long as possible. He was silent though. One thing that came in mind was, what if the South Africans were in Ghana and we were treating them this way? Would he be silent for that long period? That moment, the moment every day circulating around that Ghanaians are assaulting South Africans, that moment a press release would come out directed to either the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or to the presidency or to Ghana as a whole. He's now telling us that those perpetrators will be cracked down after taking selfies with them, after taking portrait pictures with them. And I'm very sure that those people, at the end of the day, those pictures because we've had the chance to take a picture with our president. No one is saying that be a bad leader, but at least show us that you're a good leader. Be concerned. It's as I think the pressure is mounting on him. He's trying to make it seem as if he's really doing something, but sorry to say, he's not doing anything. He is not doing anything. Let's use Mahama for example. Mahama is a very good listener. He himself has said it that he reads comments on social media. So Ramaphosa is trying to tell us that he has not seen the videos on social media, even if he himself hasn't gone out there to see what his people are doing, what Ghanaians are saying. And I always say that Ramaphosa, he will not come to Ghana again. You will not come here. We will cut ties with you, but that is not how things are being done. Everything has protocol, everything has procedure, and it needs to follow. So Ramaphosa, I'm very much disappointed. South African president, he has indeed showed that he's indeed a South African. And the atrocities, the casualties, the assaults going on there reflect who they are, and nothing can be changed about that. Now, even if people are traveling to South Africa, they are scared because they don't know who or when they can be attacked. People went there as humans, live humans, and people are coming back in coffins. And just last week, I saw a video of a crackdown in some parts of South Africa where some Nigerians were also being shot anyhow. Papa kumpo de born no and na se na pai. And I say video me won so ya bo anu etu moja, you not find somewhere and sit. I say video you for what?
He's a hero. Why?
Hero. You okay? Oh. I cannot die a hero for someone. No. I cannot do that. So Ramaphosa, it is good that he's saying that those perpetrators will be cracked down, but it took him too long. These people were working right under his noses. Police officers were there. So which security personnel would they use to arrest these people? Which of them? Is it the people that were around when all these atrocities was going on? South African police and Kasano, they themselves, they are another red flag. Another red flag.
They know what they are doing.
They know what they are doing. It can be that they've either been bribed or they've been paid, because they act so nonchalant to their surroundings. With the issue that went on just last week, I was expecting some sense of urgency from these people. Like I can say shame from they are just standing there. Someone was telling them, call an ambulance. No, he's just standing there. They need sanitization in their system.
They should baptize them
in
again.
the country.
Maybe.
This had been the worst of Cyril Ramaphosa since the day this issue of xenophobic attack started. So he kept saying that, or he kept condemning it with his words, but we didn't see anything like an action being taken. It was during last week that we saw that he brought a convoy, no, not a convoy, an envoy of people to meet the president to discuss issues and all that. And I'm sure he did that because he saw that President Mahama was serious to the extent that the issue has gotten to the headquarters of ECOWAS, and so long as South Africa is not part of ECOWAS and South Africa is part of African Union, they said they will have to send a letter to African Union, and the African Union has also assured them that they are going to work on the issue. So I feel like that is the main reason why the president of South Africa has taken such a step. Now it is very difficult to change the way people does their things in a country. That is their way of life. That is how they live. South Africa, everything we see about them in movies is their reality. That is who they are, and that is how they behave. If you want to know a country and how well they behave and everything, it is through their movie. They exhibit that when they are acting. So that is what we are seeing. Yesterday I came across a video in their airport. It was so empty. You wouldn't even find anybody in there. And then someone said this is what they want, so they should have it. So you don't blame people for your own words. You don't blame people for what you didn't do. Okay, if you are refusing to do the right thing and someone is doing it, you shouldn't go after the person. You know what to do. So if you're not doing it and somebody is doing it, what is your problem? So I don't know what is wrong with South Africa, but just as we are all saying that President Mahama, we'll meet them boot for boot. But we can't do that because there are procedures you need to follow. And the President Mahama is not that type. He's anaconda and a cobra anti whatever it is. He works very slowly. He's someone who you wouldn't see him so loud on social media, but he's working like underground, and by the time you know it. And that is why they always say that Ghana does not forget. Ghana does not forget in the sense that even 10 years to come, that issue is still there. And we will hold that against you. So I feel like with the president of South Africa, I don't blame him. That is the system. He grew there, so the blood is still there. No matter what you do, the blood is thicker than water. So definitely, that kind of behavior, but that behavior, it's uncalled for.
It's uncalled for. You know that another man has been also shot dead in South Africa, making it 2 people dying as a result of this whole xenophobic attack.
But they didn't tell why he was dead, and so I think they said they'll be doing is he
it was this one, the crackdown last week. They said they were raiding the places where these people were so much into drugs.
They'll always find a story to tell. That'll be all for the news review. Thank you so much for joining us. Up next we have Today in History with Miss Regina Bless.
Bringing you Today in History and some few global observances, live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. 1988, The arson attack on Winnie Mandela's home. The 1988 arson attack destroyed the historic Soweto home of Winnie and Nelson Mandela, driven by a local feud involving her entourage and leaving the historic building gutted. Looking at some attack details. At their modest four-room house in the Orlando West section of the Soweto Township outside Johannesburg, the perpetrators, that are the police and local witnesses, reported that a group of black high school students and local youth set the fire. The attackers stoned the bungalow, battered the gate, poured gasoline inside, and completely gutted the structure, destroying all internal belongings and historical items. No one was injured as the house was empty at the time of the noon attack. Moving on, 2012, ethnic clashes in Ethiopia. Ethnic clashes in southern Ethiopia in late July involved deadly resource and land disputes between the Borana and Gari tribes near the Kenyan border town of Moyale. Reports indicated that initial fighting broke out around midweek, peaking sharply on July 27th to 28th. Initial estimates of death toll reported that at least 18 to over 30 people killed, including local police officers. More than 20,000 to 30,000 people fled across the border into Kenya. The Relief Web update noted that Kenya Red Cross deployed emergency provisions including food, water, and mosquito nets to displaced populations. 1961. Autonomy of the Methodist Church of Ghana was achieved. It was officially achieved on this day 1961, marking its transition from a British missionary district into a self-governing church. This historic milestone took place at the Wesley Chapel, now Cathedral, in Cape Coast. To some few global observances, World Hepatitis Day. It raised global awareness about viral hepatitis and at the birthday of Nobel-winning virus discoverer Dr. Bure Blomberg, and promotes disease prevention, testing, and treatment to eliminate the condition by 2030. Educating the public about the risk of hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E, which can cause silent, severe liver damage, and cancer. Promoting status screenings such as local health campaigns urging people to know your status, because most infected individuals are unaware they carry the virus. Stressing the critical need for early vaccinations, including the hepatitis B birth dose vaccine for newborns, and also dismantling social, financial, and systemic barriers that prevent people from seeking proper medical care. Lastly, World Nature Conservation Day. To raise awareness about protecting natural resources, promote sustainable living, and address global environmental threats. And that's all for today on Today in History and some few global observances live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Ms. Regina Bless, for Today in History and some global observances of the day. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill.
Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear of favor. A recent report by the Auditor General has uncovered gross financial infractions at the nation's power distributor, the Electricity Company of Ghana Limited. The report, which covered the company's finances for the 2023 financial year, showed that The then management of the company spent on 13 expenditure items without requisite approval of its board. 11 of the expenditure items were listed by the ranking member of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, Samuel Atamils, at a recent sitting of the committee on the report, which showed that the company overspent its budget by almost 170 million without the approval of its board. For some of the items, the company overspent its budget by about 60 million. Foreign, so these are some of the things they listed that the money went into. So we have foreign training, and that budgeted amount of 31 Ghana cedis million, actual spending of 91 million. Then we have the cleaning expenses, budgeted amount of 2.8 million Ghana cedis, actual spending has to do with 10.4 million Ghana cedis. Then we have the honorariums expenses, budgeted amount of 3.8 million, actual spending 4.6 million. We have hotel expenses, budgeted amount 2.8 million, actual spending 3.6 million. So which means that the budgeted 2.8 million, but then they end up spending 3.6 million for staff fuel. Then the hotel expenses, the budgeted 9.3 million, but they end up spending 12.2 million. Then for cleaning expenses, the budgeted 2.8 million, but they end up spending 10.4 million. Communication expenses, they budgeted an amount of 4.2 million, but they ended up spending 7.9 million. Consultancy, they budgeted 40 million, but they end up spending 58.6 million. Industrial relations, they budgeted an amount of 2 million, but they ended up spending 13 million. Stakeholder expenses, they budgeted an amount of 3.1 million, but they ended up spending 49 million. Publicity, they budgeted an amount of 5.7 million, but they ended up spending 21.8 million. Professional fees and subscription, they budgeted an amount of 731,000, but they ended up spending 1.5 million. This is so huge, very huge. Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, overspent 170 million without approval from the board. They spent such a huge sum of money without approval. And so when you look at all the expenses, like foreign training, which they budgeted 31 million, but they ended up spending over 91 million. So they'll budget something like 2.8, and then they end up spending like 12 million. And then when it happens like that, it is the consumer that suffers. Imagine we do not have anything like the audit board. Imagine we do not have this board that go into details, find out what the money was used for. Because tell me why we keep paying for bills. Within a twinkle of an eye, there are increments in our bills. The utility we pay, water we pay, light we pay. And sometimes you pay for light and it's not even up to 1 month and it's gone. And ECG is overspending 170 million. 170 million. This is very huge. This is very huge. And then they'll make it look as if that it is the consumer that is the cause of all this, and so we need to pay. And then one thing that they always lean on has to do with illegal connection. I don't support illegal connection. And that is why we keep preaching that every Ghanaian that is found using light or electricity, using water through illegal means, needs to be arrested, and then you need to pay. If you've been using that for 1 year, they should calculate it for you to pay. After that, you should be arrested and jailed for 1 or 6 months. That is how harsh we can treat these people. not knowing, aside the illegal connection, this is what is going on at ECG. Expenses that do not even make sense. Communication expenses, cleaning expenses. Cleaning expenses was budgeted for 2.8 million, but they ended up spending 10.4 million for just cleaning. Cleaning expenses, 10.4 million. Why? And then when you come to hotel expenses, 9.3 million was budgeted. They ended up spending 12.2 million. Then fuel, staff for fuel, staff fuel. Which means that the workers in that company, the fuel they use is being catered for by the company. And so that money is our money, the taxpayers' money. And then they budgeted 2.8 million, but then they ended up spending 3.6 million. And all this happened in 2023. So this is under the previous administration. Nana Danko Akufo-Addo in his group, cohort. This happened under the previous administration. So this is an audit report. That is what was revealed. This is what went on. And then we end up paying abysmal money for electricity and for water. We don't even get to use it. We can even try to go out. Personally, we can go out and then interview people, and then you will get to know what is going on. You pay for water. And then the water comes like twice in a week. The water comes like thrice in a week, but every month you pay for water bill. And then you buy prepaid within a twinkle of an eye. It finished. Like it gets finished just like that. And you don't even know what you are using. You don't even know what you are using. And then the money keeps going. It keeps going just like that. We are in a country where whatever you've been receiving from 2021 or maybe 2018, that is the same thing you are receiving in 2025. But there are increments in everything you buy almost every day. The transport fares are not stable. We pay for it. Whatever you've been using for 1 month, that is not what you will use. Because maybe you don't know, there's been increment in fuel. And now COPEC is calling for the scrubbing of the 1D levy. So a lot is going on. There is pressure going on. I remember the recent during the public account public accountability series, yes. And then they revealed that I think ECG owned like a very huge debt. Then after they delve more into what led to that debt, we realized that it wasn't even about illegal connection. It wasn't about illegal connection. It's about something like this. The staffs are being paid, hotel money is being paid, cleaning is being paid. Yes, I know they will employ cleaners and all that. But 10 million. And you see, sometimes you even when you go there to interview these cleaners, maybe whatever they are taking in the month is not even up to 1,000 cedis. But they budgeted like 10 million for just cleaning expenses. 10 million. And we keep paying this every month. We keep paying more than what we are supposed to pay, and we don't even see the benefit of what we are paying for. That is why we are calling for strict monitoring and supervision. Just like the way appointees, government appointees, you need to account at the end of the day, institutions also need to account. ECG will need to account to us what exactly they use this money for. And here they are. Cleaning expenses, hotel expenses, all this communication expenses in Nakamumbi. And the money is huge. Why do we keep doing this to ourselves? Why do we keep hurting ourselves at the expense of the taxpayer? Why do we do that? The rules are there, but we are not enforcing it. That is it. We have the rules, but we are not enforcing it. They are not working. And that is why a lot of institutions get this courage to do whatever they want to do, because they know that at the end of the day, there is nothing that is holding them accountable. Something needs to be done. The money needs to be retrieved. You can't use our money to go and sleep in the hotel, cleaning 10 million and all that, whilst we suffer. That is not going to happen. Thank you for making time with me on the video.
Thank you so much for making time with us on the first segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We'll be going for the morning news shortly, and right after that, we'll be back. Please stick and stay with us.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Welcome to the morning news update on Ghana Talks Radio. Coming up this morning, Ghana commissions independent autopsy on Ghanaian killed in South Africa's xenophobic attack. Government processes 200 free passports for 2026 flood victims as 623 applicants verified. Government to file more oral cases in coming months as key dossiers move forward. Also in the news, at Integrity Award launch, Chief Justice calls for end to electoral corruption. And in business, IMF approves Ghana's final program review, clears way for over 300 million disbursement. We've got full details on these stories and many others coming up shortly. The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Kujeto-Ablakwa, says government has commissioned an independent autopsy on Bashiru Isaac, a Ghanaian who was killed in xenophobic attack in South Africa. Mr. Ablakwa disclosed that the decision was taken after South African authorities failed to provide an official autopsy report to Ghanaian officials and the family. Speaking during a live update, the Foreign Affairs Minister said the independent autopsy is expected to be released this week. The ministry is working closely with Ghana's High Commission as well as the family of the deceased to ensure they receive justice and the necessary support.
The High Commission formally lodged Ghana's protest with South Africa's Department of International Relations and Cooperation, following our instructions. They also proceeded to file a complaint with the South African Police Service and commenced close engagement with the relevant investigative authorities to monitor the progress of investigations. At the same time, the ministry maintained regular contact with Mr. Isaac's family, providing the necessary consular assistance, and with the family's consent, facilitated the repatriation of his mortal remains to Ghana. Mr. Isaac's remains arrived at the Kotoka International Airport on 14 July 2026 and were received by senior officials at the ministry and members of his family before being conveyed to the 37 Military Hospital for an independent autopsy. This became necessary following the inability of both the High Commission and the family to obtain the official post-mortem report from the South African authorities. I must state for the record that the government of Ghana is still waiting for the autopsy report conducted by South African authorities.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has also processed and printed 200 replacement passports for victims of the 2026 floods under its free passport replacement intervention. Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Kudzeto Ablakwa disclosed that the ministry received a total of 705 applications from Ghanaians whose travel documents were damaged in the flood. According to Mr. Ablakwa, 623 of the applicants have been verified and confirmed eligible for the relief package. He said the verification process was done in collaboration with relevant agencies to ensure genuine flood victims benefit. The free replacement initiative is part of government support to help affected persons restore critical documents.
I would like to bring the brief to a close with a matter that has brought some relief to nationals who lost their passports during the recent floods. And may I convey the ministry's sympathies to all families who lost loved ones and all those who lost property. May the souls of the departed continue to rest in perfect peace. The ministry decided to implement a special intervention as our modest contribution to the response effort. So we announced the replacement of damaged and lost passports due to the floods of 29 June 2026. The initiative announced on 3rd July 2026 was introduced to ease the financial burden of affected citizens and ensure that this vital document, passports, which may have been lost or damaged, did not disrupt employment, education, medical, travel, or other legitimate international engagements. As at 17 July 2026, the application deadline, the Ministry has received 705 applications for free passport replacement. 705. Following verification by the Passport Office, it was established that 623 applicants held valid passports at the time of the floods and therefore qualified for the intervention, while 82 applications related to passports that had expired before the flooding and were consequently ineligible for free replacement under the scheme. The scheme covers only valid passports and is for good reason. We do not want others who are not really victims of the floods, to take advantage of this, to abuse our modest humanitarian effort. To date, the Passport Office has processed and printed 200 replacement passports. Of these, 155 passports have been collected by their owners, while 45 passports remain available for collection by the verified applicants. The Ministry will continue to process the remaining eligible applications in batches and notify successful applicants once their passports are ready for collection. The government remains committed to ensuring that all eligible flood victims receive their replacement passports as quickly as possible while maintaining the integrity and security of Ghana's passport system.
The Deputy Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Justice Rimsai, has disclosed that between 5 and 10 major cases under the Operation Recover or Loot advanced stages of prosecution. In an interview, Dr. Rimsai said the cases involve allegations of financial loss to the state. According to him, investigations have been completed on the priority cases and dockets have been forwarded for prosecution. He added that several other files are also being reviewed and expected to be filed in court in the coming months. The Deputy Attorney General said the Ministry of Justice Justice is working with other state agencies to strengthen evidence gathering to ensure successful convictions.
We are between 5 or 10 now. Advanced stages, the advanced stages of when we analyzed the report, I think we had about 30 cases that we have other dockets already, but we are going to start with them either during the vacation, the legal vacation. We are going to start new cases. Yeah, we will continue. I mean, we will continue what we have done. We are going to continue prosecuting. As far as the oral is concerned, we are going to do it. There will be other cases. When we're working, we don't actually focus on which one is big or which one is that. We focus on which one is prosecutable. But I can tell you there will be some interesting cases coming soon.
I see.
Yeah.
Chief Justice Paul Bafo-Boni has cautioned that vote buying is eroding Ghana's democracy. Speaking at the launch of the National Integrity Award Scheme in Accra, the Chief Justice said the practice distorts the will of the people and compromises accountability in public office. He noted that when elections are influenced by money and material inducement, leaders are not chosen on merit. According to Justice Bafo-Boni, building a stronger democracy requires ethical leadership and a renewed commitment to integrity in public and private life. The National Integrity Award Scheme is aimed at recognizing individuals and organizations that demonstrate high ethical standards and contribute to nation building.
The honest politician may lose an election, but vote buying weakens democracy and ultimately impoverishes the very people whose votes we purchased. The cost of integrity is often paid by the individual. The cost of corruption is paid by all of us. That is why integrity remains indispensable. No nation has ever succeeded by rewarding dishonesty indefinitely. Sooner or later, every society discovers that trust is its greatest currency. And once trust disappears, institutions begin to weaken, contracts lose meaning, public confidence erodes, justice itself becomes suspect. As Chief Justice, I know that the judiciary depends upon one thing above all else: not buildings, not budgets, not even judgments. It depends upon public confidence. People obey court orders and decisions not because judges possess physical power. They obey them because they believe that justice has been administered. That belief rests entirely upon integrity.
The growing practice of parents sending children abroad for education has drawn concern from Parliament. Speaker Alban Bagbin. Speaking at a public event, Mr. Bagbin said parents who rush their children out of the country do not consider the long-term consequences. According to the Speaker of Parliament, while foreign education has its benefit, the separation often leads to children settling permanently overseas and losing connection with their families and country. He called on government to invest more in local education institutions to make them competitive and attractive.
And many of you who rush your children abroad to study, I beg you, you don't love your children. Because you know you are going to lose them. It's when they study here and get to a stage of maturity and they want to advance and they're going to do masters, PhD, and that kind of thing, then you have hope that they will come back. Those you carry as babies and send there, they won't even come to your funeral. It's true. They don't know you. They don't have any attachment. They don't like your country. There's no patriotism there. They don't know what is a family. Because over there, there's nothing like that. If there's something smelling in the house, they call the law enforcement with that. Hey, there's some scent coming from this flat. They go there, and the carriers will pick the body, and that's the end.
In business, Ghana has successfully completed a 3-year program with the International Monetary Fund after the Fund Executive Board approved the country's final review under the Extended Credit Facility Arrangement. The IMF Board, at a meeting in Washington, D.C. on Thursday, also approved Ghana's request for new policy coordination instrument, paving the way for the next phase of the country's economic reform. The approval of the 6th and final program review is expected to trigger the disbursement of more than $300 million to the country. The funds are expected to hit the Bank of Ghana's account in the coming days. Sources familiar with the discussion says the IMF board also approved Ghana's 2026 Article 4 consultation, granted a waiver for non-observance of the performance relating to the cost-sharing arrangement for gold board operations, and completed a financing assurance review. The approval marked a significant milestone for Ghana, officially bringing to a close the extended credit facility program that the country entered with the IMF in 2023 to restore macroeconomic stability, rebuild investor confidence, and support economic reforms. The outcome is also expected to strengthen investor confidence in the Ghanaian economy and support future upgrades to the country's sovereign credit rating. With the board decision, Ghana has formally completed a IMF-supported extended credit facility program while securing a new policy coordination instrument to help our core economic policies going forward. To sports, Ramatukwe becomes the latest Ghanaian boxer to be eliminated after suffering a run of 16 losses to Canada's Walamba Jane. Kwe lost via unanimous decision after all 5 judges scored the fight against her. She was knocked down on the 3 occasions, first in the second round and twice in the third round, as she struggled in the flyweight contest. It was therefore not surprising after 4 of the judges scored the fight 24 out of 30 against her, while the other, Moshine Somi from Morocco, scored 23 out of 30. Kwe's exit means all 3 ladies who have fought for Ghana this tournament failed to win their contest. In showbiz, dancehall star Shetawale has added another luxury ride to his garage after receiving a brand new black Ferrari as a gift from businessman Kofi Aban. The presentation took place over the weekend, sparking conversations with videos and photos of the sleek vehicle making rounds on social media. In the clip, Shetawale was seen admiring the made black Ferrari, expressing gratitude to the businessman after what he described as a gesture of love and support. He called it a blessing while appreciating Kofi Aban for believing in him and his brand. Kofi Aban, who is known for his investment in shipping, logistics and philanthropy, has built a reputation for supporting Ghanaian talent and youth initiatives. Presenting the Ferrari to Shetawale was seen as part of his continued support for the entertainment industry. On global updates, the South African authorities are investigating the death of a Nigerian man who collapsed while arrested by police in Cape Town last week. The initial result from a post-mortem showed that Chika Simon, 42, sustained multiple bruises on his back and chest. According to the independent body that oversees police conduct, Nigerian diplomat Uche said the country was deeply appalled by reports of the egregious police tactics that led to his death on Thursday. In a statement, Western Cape Police said Simon died while he was being placed under arrest as he allegedly collapsed. His death comes amid heightened tensions between South Africa and Nigeria over allegations that Nigerians have been the target of xenophobic violence. Earlier this month, the South African authorities confirmed the death of another Nigerian in June under similar circumstances. In a statement condemning Simon's death, Uche, Nigeria's Consul General in Johannesburg, called for transparent investigation and alleged that there was an alarming pattern of unresolved extrajudicial killing misconduct against foreign nationals. Describing the circumstances of his death, Western Cape Police spokesperson said officers were conducting a search at a home in the area where they found unlicensed firearm and what appeared to be drugs. As they moved to arrest him, he collapsed. Paramedics were called to the scene and he was declared deceased at the scene. Speaking to BBC on Monday, Nigeria's Foreign Ministry spokesperson described the incident as very unfortunate. South Africa's Interministerial Committee on Migration, during its regular public update on the country's approach to migration management, also confirmed that the issue was being investigated. Chief Justice Mamalo Kokubayi, who chairs the committee, said during the police operation in Cape Town last Thursday, in June, Nigeria's Foreign Ministry reported the death of Emeka Charles, also allegedly at the hands of South African's police. Diplomatic tensions have also grown between South Africa and Ghana following claims that a Ghanaian man was killed during anti-migrant protests in South Africa, allegations South African officials have rejected. Ghana was the first African country to repatriate citizens from South Africa at the start of the recent wave of anti-migrant protests. 2 Ghanaian nationals have also petitioned the International Criminal Court to investigate alleged attacks against migrants in South Africa. The petition alleges there have been a pattern of widespread and systemic attacks against foreigners, arguing the violence could amount to crimes against humanity. The South African government has rejected the petition as opportunistic, arguing it does not meet the ICC's legal threshold. Last week, leaders of the West African regional bloc ECOWAS condemned reported attacks on African migrants as Nigeria and Ghana raised the issue at a summit in Sierra Leone. They called on South African authorities to protect foreign nationals. And that's how we draw curtains on the morning news update. Thank you so much for sticking tuned to your radio. Do well to log on to all streaming platforms as well as log in onto our website at www.GhanaTalksRadio.com for more news stories. I am Deborah Dosu. Do have a good morning.
Ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Wake up, Ghana, your morning star, right? News, views, inspiration, and great conversations. From Accra to the world, we bring the fresh stories, fresh energy every morning, full of fire and glory. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Your daily dose, here we go. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Only on Ghana Talks Radio. Turn it up and stay tuned.
Good morning to you once again, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. This is your morning companion, and right here we are bringing you all the relevant stories making waves in the news, from business to politics, from sports to entertainment. We got you covered with the most relevant stories and informed perspectives on matters that matter to you every morning right here on the show. I'm still the host, Ruth Esinam Fiagbedu, and you're welcome to the second segment of the morning show. And right here we bring you knowledgeable guests who are going to be delving into the issue for discussion this morning, and they are going to be sharing their 2 cents, their opinions on matters that matter to you every morning right here on the show. Remember that this is your favorite online radio station. We are streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio TV, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on X at Ghana Talks Radio. Do well to join us this morning right here on the morning show. Let's get interactive. Share with us your opinion. Tell us what you also think, and we'll do well to read them back to you. This morning, I have a fine gentleman sitting right in the studios with me, in the person of Mr. Asante James Makion, the NPP Communications team member. Good morning to you, Mr. Makion, and you're welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
All right, thank you very much, and I'm so much grateful to be here.
It's good to have you. Hope all is well.
Oh, by God's grace. I mean, bad governance cannot kill us. By God's grace, we are fine.
And which one is the bad governance?
That's what we are experiencing now, and today we'll talk more about it. Don't worry.
Tell me more. Whilst we buy time.
All right.
What is it that is a bad governance?
You see, we live in an economy where everything is structured in such a way to be politicized and favor a political party. Even whatever we are doing today as a nation, when you read our history, you realize that every single thing that is happening today in our economy has happened before. To talk of inflation going on a single decade.
It has happened.
It has happened before under the MPP.
I thought the NDC said that it's first in history.
That's a big lie. If it happens that way.
A single digit.
No. It has happened in our history. That's from 2017 we had a single digit inflation. In 2017 we had a 2018, 2019. So 3 consecutive years we're having single digit inflation. And
but was it as low as we have it?
Oh well,
because this one is, I think it's 3. The last time was 3, but
it was 3.5.
Yes.
But currently I think
it's
5
5.
point.
Yes.
Yeah, 5 point. I think 6 or something.
Yes.
You know, during that time, the inflation was around 7, 8, 9.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was consistent.
Moreover, then they are right. Then they say they have the lowest inflation.
I'm coming. I'll make a point here. You know, if we are to admit by that, then we should take certain things into consideration.
Which are?
I have some questions for the NDC, and I will appreciate when their person comes here. Then I will give their questions out. You know, if you are to talk about inflation coming down, we should consider how the government of Ghana or how the Bank of Ghana regulates its monetary value, affecting inflation. You know, inflation is such that we are expecting prices of goods to consistently increase, causing inflation. Now, if price of goods are decreasing, we say we are facing deflation. As at now, prices of goods are increasing.
Oh, are you sure?
Take your time. Prices of goods are increasing on a lower percentage rate. That's why we say we have a low inflation rate. That doesn't mean inflation has turned to deflation. There's a pure economic aspect of it, and Ghanaians should understand. Let me bring it down. When you have, let's say, an item to be 10 cedis today, if inflation decreases from 10% to 8%, then that commodity should increase by its price in 8% of the amount. So 8% of the 10 cedis is going to be 0.8 pesos. Do you get the mathematics?
Yeah.
So therefore, the amount is not going to reduce from 10 cedis to 8 cedis, but it's rather going to increase from 10 cedis to 10.8 Ghana cedis.
Right.
That is how the scope of the inflation works. But if we live in an economy where prices are decreasing, then we shouldn't say we are experiencing inflation. We should say we are experiencing deflation. And
so as it stands now, you think we are experiencing deflation?
From our books, government of Ghana is saying that we are experiencing inflation of 5.6%, of which commodities or price of commodities has reduced. Then what is happening in our system? What is happening in our system? Is it that we are going against the economic law, or we are doing something else that the world doesn't know? But let's even put that one aside. To go more about this particular inflation trends and everything, I have been saying this continuously, that the NDC should appreciate the MPP so much in terms of intellect of managing inflation. If in a space of 1 year, we were able to reduce inflation that was caused by crude oil prices shooting in the international market, leading Ghana's inflation to 54%. We were able to manage this particular type of inflation within a space of 1 year from 54 to 23%, a reduction of 31%. Then the MPP is a master of regulating inflation. Moreover, we talk about CD appreciating, and according to the Bank of Ghana reports that they brought to Parliament on the July 2025, they said the cedi started appreciating somewhere the fourth quarter of 2024. Meaning
that was during your tenure.
Exactly. Meaning the regulations we did, or the debt structure we put in place as at that time, has yielded a very good fruit for them to also appreciate.
But why did they keep you so long, your administration so long, to put all those regulations in place? But rather, when you were almost being booted out of government before we saw that you were kind of like trying to put in much effort to win the hearts of the people. Was it a strategy to win the hearts of the people?
People claim that it's a strategy. I mean, the government, You know, sometimes politicians are so smart that they are able to convince Ghanaians just based on some mystical promises. They just told the ordinary Ghanaian, the MPP, you don't know them. They can change the inflation within 1 second. They are intentionally doing that because they need power. Now, when you take it from the angle where the nation was building, or we're building the nation, in 2016, we picked an economy that its GDP was growing by 3.5%, of which you can check from Bank of Ghana's report. Now, when we picked that economy, we, within the first 1 year, restructured everything. The Kenoforiata today, the NDC wants to find ways and means to imprison the man.
Are they finding ways to imprison?
Oh yes, because
just to ask him questions.
You see, as at now, they do not have any concrete evidence
to
bring him back home.
But have you asked yourself
the US
why Kenoforiata is refusing to come back? Because if you've been in office, and
what is the essence of asylum? If I am not comfortable in my country, if my country I do not have peace, then by all means I have to leave.
But you think that is actually looking at the time at which he left wasn't right?
Oh
because
yes, it
even
was.
Your president even mentioned that if you've held an office, you should stay back and face accountability. Whereas with the case of Ken Ofori-Atta, we could clearly see that he didn't even wait to face accountability.
Yes, it will happen.
And is that right?
It will happen that way when you are being threatened. That's by
How
all
was
means.
Ken Ofori-Atta
I'm coming. By all means, we will find ways and means to jail you. You see, the NDC at a point even barged into his house with national security without even invitation, without even prompting him that we will be coming. Everything they were doing was giving signals that this man will not face peace if he stay.
But
We shouldn't deflect from the fact that in the point I was talking about in 2016, we having a GDP growing by 3.5%, and this man that we are chasing today, or the NDC government is chasing today, through strategic debt management, was able to bring the GDP growth from 3.5% to 8.1% in 2017, and you can check from our financial statements. It's so interesting. The next approach today that we are shouting that the GDP has grown by 6%. His next GDP, which was in 2018, grew by 6.3%. In 2019, it grew by 6.5%. This should tell you that the nation was on a very good track until suddenly we faced a pandemic. Then our GDP growth reduced drastically and came to 0.95%. So the nation facing this particular pandemic became the sudden charge of everything. And today, we fought so hard to bring things back. The inflation rate we were talking about in 2023, where it was shooting around 54%, wasn't as a result of bad economic management, but it was as a result of huge international oil and gold prices.
I'm not to cut you, but I'm interested in a word you actually use, that the NDC government is actually chasing Ken Ofori-Atta. What are you trying to insinuate if you make such a statement?
You see, we've been in this country, we've seen the NDC in so many ways, and we've seen a lot of threatening messages, coming from the opposition side. As at that time, we will scrutinize you and make sure that you face the law and everything, forgetting that we have a chief justice that was under the appointment of the MPB. Now, when they got power, the chief justice has been changed by some reasons. We have.
You didn't find those reasons concrete.
Oh, even before man and God, some sincere and honest NDC members will tell you that those reasons were valid enough to change a chief justice. Those reasons weren't valid enough, unless we want to be so political about it. It wasn't valid enough. Now, to look at changing the Chief Justice, then indirectly, whoever becomes the Chief Justice, being an appointee from the NDC, automatically will be able to be influenced by the party. Though we have an independent judicial system from the executive judicial system, but the powers of the president are so high that some decisions of the judiciary, one way or the other, can be influenced by the executive.
But as it stands now, do you see any influence from the executive on the judiciary?
Oh, the President Mahama once said that when he wished, he made a statement in one of, I think, his late campaigns in 2024, that he wished that when he got the power, he could prosecute those people who are allegedly fined or being condemned of criminal and corruption activities. He could arrest them if he got a chance, or if he had the chance, he would have arrested them and allowed them to face the law after their arrest. I don't know if you get it. What was happening during the coup and the dictatorship period, where you be arrested, then later you prove yourself guilty. Right. That is some that's some messages that were coming from President Mahama, and he said when he's giving the mandate as a president, he's going to fast track the process of people who were in power and are being charged of corruption activities. Today, he's in power, and you could clearly see that allegations that are made by the NDC are being delayed. Anyone who is from the NDC, any allegations that are being made by the person is being delayed. Even our current finance minister, who had a court issue or a court case that were in process for over 6 years, when the NDC came to power, all those court cases have been tarnished. You get my point. And the ones that are the MPP people are facing today, they fast track the processes. And each and every day, MPP people are going to court back to back because they want that one to be done. So if we say that the president do not have influence on the judiciary, then we are lying to ourselves. To be honest, the president, one way or the other, has a say because his appointees are there.
If that is the case, does that mean that the previous administration also there was something like that?
You see, the previous administration, the former president, His Excellency Akufo-Addo, strategically allowed the judiciary to work independently, including even special forces like IOCO. He intentionally brought Mami Tiwa, who is a former CID boss, to be the IOCO commissioner or IOCO director. That was a strategy so that the CID can work independently, do their investigations independently, not to be intimidated by the government. If you bring a journalist to be an IOCO boss, what are you trying to say? The experience can never be the same as the CID. I'm not saying journalists are not good, but in terms of criminal activities and diving much into it, CIDs are on a different level. You get where I'm coming from? So Akufo-Addo strategically set some people at the independent side of our institutions. All institutions that are independent, he intentionally set some people there who they cannot be intimidated by the government. That's why he was confidently pronouncing that after his governance, if you are being caught, he has nothing to say and he will allow you to face the law. Do you get my point? We have a long way to go as a nation if the NDC continues like this.
If I'm getting you from your submission, in actual sense, you're saying that IOCO is not working independently and is being influenced by who, and what are the indicators?
Okay, so let me help you make this very brief. The IOCO boss, since IOCO was established, is a political appointee or is somebody that is being appointed by the president. So if today actions of the IOCO are targeting consistently opposition members, of which we mentioned and discussed such issues here before, then you should know that one way or the other, the person is performing a political duty. We do not need anyone to tell us that the president is behind that. All right.
Good morning. It's good to have you.
Yeah, you get my point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you are saying that Iyoko is being influenced by
we can't do away with that.
By the current administration.
Can't do away with that.
But if you see them picking up people who are not from the opposition party, that they are not influenced.
Oh, but the president have said is that he wants to fast track all those processes pertaining to political matters. So if you see politicians going there most often, you should know where it is coming from. You do not need anyone to preach the gospel to you. Yeah. All right.
Joining us right here in the studios, we have Mr. Elliot Nene Aita. Is that the name? Yeah, Aita. All right. He's the NDC communications team member. Good morning to you, Mr.
Good morning. Good morning.
Aita.
Good morning.
Beautiful
radio host.
Oh, thank you so much. It's good to have you in the studios.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Hope it wasn't difficult finding me. I think it's your first time.
Yes, it was a little difficult, but we are here.
Oh, so okay.
I'm eager to hear what my brother has to say.
So since you were not here on time, so we were trying to, discuss other issues.
Yeah, I was listening.
Oh, so you had everything.
Yes, I did.
Do you want to respond to that?
Let
me give you time to respond to that.
Exactly.
Let me give you time to respond.
I have a lot to say.
Yeah,
a lot.
Let me give you time to respond to that.
The truth is bitter, but when you tell them, they don't want to admit.
They don't want to admit.
No.
Because you were alone, so I was just nodding.
Exactly.
I didn't want to say anything, and then make it look as if the host is an NDC communicator.
Yes, and I also didn't want to say much because he wasn't here. So it's good.
It's good. It's very professional.
So it's good that
he's here.
You now have.
You see, I told you I have some questions even for the NDC, but because he's not here, I don't answer. So
now he's here.
Yeah, he's
and
here.
he said he has been listening to you, so I guess he has a response.
Oh, but I would like him to, reiterate what he was saying, so that I would be able to.
We have a topic on board and we have to face it.
Oh,
so
we
can
have
talk
time.
about that.
And everything I've said earlier on will come again.
So what was he talking about?
So he mentioned for the fact that the Iyoko boss is a political appointee, and looking at how things are going, it looks that allegedly he's been influenced by the government to, do the deed of the government.
You see, so my
I hope I didn't misquote.
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I only paraphrase what he said.
My only response to that, right? My only response to that is simple. You see, according to the Constitution, the Attorney General and Iyoko, they are supposed to be appointed by the president, but they are supposed to work what? They're supposed to make sure that they bring to book anybody that goes contrary to the laws of Ghana, right? And then President Mahama has stated emphatically many times that his appointees or anybody in his government who goes contrary to the law will be taken on. Do you understand? So my only answer to my brother is, and I know he's going to bring the wound to me thing, saying that wound to me is a political prisoner, what they are all saying. But the question is, let's talk about oral. How many cases did oral come up? And how many of them? Before I start, I would like to say a special good morning, right, to a few people, because I am going to, borrow some of their words. I would like to say good morning to Dr. Sami Aye and the tenacious Anthony Julius. You know him. Very senior. Thank you very much. Yes. He's a brother. Very, very tenacious guy. He's schooling a lot of them,
and
cooking them so much. I would like to say a very good morning to him, and then my incoming NUX president, Selma Yoda. So back to what I was saying. You see, we have evidence in the court of law. There is fact that has basis, that hold water, and there's accusations. You see, and I know, let me even start. You will talk about the Joseph Yamin case also. They've made allegations against him. He has come out to state his his stand. Find evidence. If you have evidence, get it and take it to the Attorney General. Just like we had evidence on the Wontumi case. That is all I want to say. I am not here to, because for me, I am for prosecuting wherever there is a need to what for prosecution, right? But don't do it when you don't have basis. Do you get it? Do it when you have facts and evidence. And with Wontumi, we have facts, we have evidence, we have witnesses. Do you get it? That are speaking for this thing. So how are you telling me that is he's a political prisoner?
Right.
You know, President Mahama has prosecuted his friends before.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what are you talking about? So all I want to tell my brother, simply put and like short, so that we can continue, is get evidence and provide it. And then if we don't prosecute, then you have a case. But currently you have no case.
Right. This is still the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. We are streaming live on Facebook at GhanaTalks Radio TV, on YouTube at GhanaTalks Radio, and also on X at GhanaTalks Radio. And, you know, it's getting very interactive and very heated right here in the studio.
Yes.
And looking at the tangents at which the issues are going, I think we'll delve into Chairman Wontumi's case before we top it up with the 2026 media budget review.
All right.
So yesterday we saw that the NPP's legal team has taken over Chairman Wontumi's case as defense, and I want to ask: doesn't Chairman Wontumi actually have the real power to select or appoint someone to represent him in court? But rather, why is the party's legal team now taking over to be his defense counsel?
All right, so you see, it's unfortunate that we have a party we have a political party in
It's
governance.
unfortunate.
Yes, it's unfortunate that we have a political party in governance that do not consider the grievances of the people, even
And
to
what
the
are these
extent.
grievances?
Yes, I'm coming.
Oh my
You
God.
see, today I wish you just allow me. Then
But I have to punch some holes
Go-
in there. Ask you certain questions.
Yes, because you can't be making
we
such
need
statements.
Certain
no.
clarifications.
You cannot.
So if you mention grievances, what are these grievances? Of who and of whom?
Okay, so we are demanding for fair justice, that the NPP party chairman or regional party chairman who has been found guilty and has been imprisoned should have a fair hearing on the basis of legal actions from his lawyer or from his supposed lawyer. You know, the lawyer who was supposed to lead this whole conversation wasn't even there when his client was being sentenced to jail. And according to the lawyer, he sent a report, or he sent an official request to the judges of the High Court that this particular day I won't be available. I won't be in the country. And for this reason, I will plead that the matter on board won't be held on that particular day. Unfortunately, for some reasons, of which I cannot say, we ended up seeing our chairman being called to the courts just to come and answer some questions, and failure to do that, has been sentenced. This is what we are saying, that as from our side as the MPP, everyone deserves equal hearing. We cannot sit down as a political party having a lot of intellectual lawyers among us and let this particular thing happen. When you consider our constitution, you realize that everyone that is being taken to court has the right to choose his or her own lawyer. Now, if I have chosen a lawyer and my lawyer is not there, how then do you pass a judgment? You stand on the basis of saying that it's a law firm and the law firm is handling the matter. Therefore, the law firm should be able to defend my client. It doesn't sound well. We know it's a law firm, but we have lawyers in law firms. That's why they have individual law certificates. Then we should have allowed about 10, 15 people to go to law school together and give them one certificate. If you are saying law firm, it is not that way. It does not work that way. It's not all lawyers that are able to do defending at the court. Some lawyers are just researchers. So you do not base on the fact that a law firm is handling a matter, and for that matter, the law firm should be able to defend their clients. The judgment wasn't fair. The right lawyer wasn't there. And that is why we, the MPP, see it, the need to go and stand in for him this time around. Today, he's in prison, facing other trials along the line. We cannot say that the fact that he's in prison, he should fight alone. We are a patriotic party, and we understand that once he has served the party, he is a family member, and he deserves equal justice. If at the end of the day he's being found guilty, and even the sentence will continue, it should pass through the right procedure. It should pass through a procedure where everyone will be so much convinced and have a sound mind at the end of the day. Because today is to me, tomorrow it might be me. Imagine I find myself there and my lawyer is not present and the judgment is being passed. Then where are we heading towards? Are you trying to say that you are using the judicial system to intimidate other political parties? Is that what you are saying? We should be fair enough to ourselves. We should consider the feelings of others. We should allow other people to also have fair hearing. This is what we are talking about, and this is what we stand for.
My question right here has to do with Atacha's availability for his clients. When the judgment date was given, where was Atacha at that time?
When was the judgment day in the first place?
It was given on 20th of July.
Yeah. He was outside the country.
He was outside the country.
Yeah, he sought for permission. You see, I mentioned that earlier on. He sought for permission from the court that on this particular day, I won't be available for a judgment to be passed on my clients. So you do not go ahead to do that. If we are being fair to Atachian, then we should have at least comply.
But he had other subsequent lawyers to represent Untumi.
Yes.
I get it from this angle, but we are talking about a lead lawyer.
So are you trying to say that the whole country should wait for Atacha to come back from
yes, because he
daughter's graduation?
You see, this is where we are getting it wrong. This is where we are
oh
getting
my
it wrong.
God.
Our colleagues are trying to play around the law such that they are refusing to admit that we have a lead lawyer. Yet other lawyers could represent. But on what basis? Not on the day of judgment. On the day of judgment, the lead lawyer must be there. That is how it's supposed to be. You do not expect sub lawyers or other minor lawyers to take the lead on that particular day. And if he didn't inform, then you could have gone ahead to do that. But he informed ahead of time. His reason, if his reason wasn't valid enough for the court to wait, they could have prompted him. But the court didn't do anything like that. So we shouldn't overlook the fact that that judgment was passed unfairly. We should take it into consideration. And a lot of Ghanaians keep saying that if Atachian was to be there that day, maybe the 20 years couldn't have happened that way. Maybe. So you should understand that Atachian as an individual or as a lead lawyer has so much influence in the case. And we shouldn't overlook that.
So if he had so much influence in the case, why did the other lawyers fail to defend him when he was away?
They are not lead lawyers.
So why then did he allow them to represent him in the first place?
You see, he works with a firm, as I mentioned earlier on. And in a firm we have other lawyers that work on research and compare evidences and everything. Now here lies the case. The lead lawyer who presents cases and fights at the court is not there. Now, if judgment is supposed to be passed and he's not there, for his client to just go and be empty like that, then at least so the other ones were there, but they were not as heavier as their lead lawyer. And we should understand that.
But looking at the reason Atachi actually gave for his absence of not being in court that day, don't you think that another family member could have stood in for him to represent his client?
you do not know the relationship someone have with his or her children.
I want to ask
Moreover,
a question.
no, let me finish. Let me finish. Moreover, the reason he gave could have been rejected by the court, and I've mentioned that earlier. If the court truly wanted him to be there and insisted that we are not allowing you to go based on these reasons, why wouldn't he be fair with his client? Besides, the client has paid legal fees, has paid legal charges, so he will be there. But the court overlooked, and the court didn't give him any solid, reason. So he thought everything is okay. Now I can go and come, knowing I have a court case. So definitely he was going to come back to come and defend his client.
Well, hearing from reports on that particular day the judgment was actually given as to why the judge, which is Kokubiti, rejected Atachian's pleading to the court to adjourn the judgment day, was because she mentioned that Atachian was actually there when the judgment date was actually given, that this is the so and so date that will be declaring the judgment, and he never objected to that, and then later on brought a letter on a short notice that he wouldn't
we all have
but things don't work like that.
We all have unforeseen circumstances.
So are you trying to say that he didn't mark his daughter's graduation on his
it
calendar?
could be. We have unforeseen circumstances.
And you claim this is actually a good relationship.
It happens
because if you have a very good relationship, that should be a priority.
We should be realistic. We all mark our calendars sometimes for certain things. Suddenly, we get information. Oh, today you are supposed to be here, of which you know or you didn't plan for. In order to make adjustments, or in order to consider that priority, you make adjustment to your timelines. Then you fix things in. So if he made adjustments and the court refused his adjustments, then I think the court wasn't fair to him. But if we are to make the right thing to be done, I think Atachian should have been allowed to be there.
I'm wondering what would
and
have changed if Atachian
and all this back and forth wouldn't have happened.
So what difference would have Atachian made if he was available?
I said something. He's the lead lawyer. Moreover, he knows some confidential messages between him and Wuntumi alone. Everyone should know this. When it comes to matters of law, there are certain things even our parents can tell their lawyers but refuse to tell their case. So there are some of the things Wuntumi can only tell Atachian and will not mention it to the other colleague lawyers who are handling the matter. That doesn't mean Wuntumi is not spitting some facts out. But what it simply means is that he has a lawyer and a client-based confidence in Atachian.
Right.
So Atachian's president would have been very, very impactful in this particular proceeding. And I think that's what maybe the court. Yes, the court saw.
Maybe.
And yes, that's why I use the word maybe. That's what maybe the court saw.
That means it's not even concrete.
And yes, it's a conditional statement. That's what maybe the court saw and intentionally decided to overrule.
Intentionally. If you are being picked up, I'm not here.
You see, so I made a statement. Maybe it's a conditional statement. So we should pick it from that angle.
Right. I wish I could ask more questions, but I see Mr. Elliot.
He has a lot to say.
Itching to speak. So let me just come to him and hear from him.
You are asking my questions for me.
Oh, really?
Because in the first place, one thing that I want to let him know is, you see, as communicators, when we get the opportunity to come and then speak for our party and speak to facts, we have to, how will I say, educate the public and our listeners, and we have to come with facts. So you see, why would you tell me that you have a case, a trial, right, which is very important one, and like you said he was around when the date of the judgment was given. So my question is, and I would add facts to this, you could have let someone go in your stead just to show that this is important, because this is someone's life. Yes, graduations are important, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But please, audience and my people, let's be the judge. Someone's life. 20 years is not a small thing.
It's not a joke.
It's not a joke. Someone's life and a graduation. In other other matters, right, or in other situations, you can weigh them, but in this you cannot weigh them. Let's put that aside. Also, the fact on the ground is, let me read something that I wrote down. Apia Kubi tried to formally withdraw as Wuntumi's lawyer, right, on 5th June 2026, but the court dismissed that application on 15 June. When was the sentencing done? 20th. So let me take it again. Apia Kubi tried to formally withdraw as Wuntumi's lawyer on 5th June 2026, but the court dismissed that application on 15 June. Let's hear why. Ruling it didn't meet the legal requirement, while confirming that in criminal proceedings, lawyer doesn't technically need court permission to stop representing the client. Okay, and you know that the court actually did this in the to protect Wontumi. This is more defensible. Why? The record shows the original lawyer's own withdrawal bid was rejected for being procedurally defective, right, and unserved on his client. So I feel like in this case, it's your lawyer that has done you a disservice.
Yeah.
Because court proceedings must go on. Do you get it? And it is on record. Like I said, I speak to facts. It's on record that you were there, you were present when all of these rulings were about to happen. Like I'm stating again, I am not saying that your daughter's graduation is not important, but this is someone's life. So now it is wound to me. So honestly, me, I am very happy that he has recused himself. And then he has actually spoken that he wants new legal representation. Because if you are representing me and you can do this to me, and then I'd actually have to go to jail for 20 years, I don't want you to represent me anymore. Do you get it? And so I'm stating that he is not speaking to facts, because he is saying that the lawyer didn't he did, but the court came back and gave him grounds upon which they cannot grant that thing. So in this case, and they told him that on 15th July, before your graduation, your daughter's graduation, before Wontumi sentencing. So when you knew that this is what the court had said, if it was you, my beautiful morning host, what would you do? If Wontumi was really important to your party and to you, you would definitely make arrangements, right? Mm-hmm. For someone else to represent you at your how will I say, at your daughter's graduation, and then you'd make sure you'd be there, so that you will not say had I known, or if he was there. And let me speak to that fact also. How can you tell me that if he was there? No, wait, how can you tell me this story? Because in the first place, the court of law had evidence. I'm saying this, and I keep on saying this, that let us not make this conversation about Mekebi in the courts, right? It is about evidence, witnesses. So evidence are what? Concrete facts. And then the next one is what? Eyewitnesses. You get it? You are letting someone mine on your concession, right? And then the person has come out and said that, oh, this is how they did it. You tried to mislead the court by saying say Kube, but the court realized upon witness statements that Kube, what you are saying. So what are you talking about? There's evidence, there's fact, right? And if you have all of these things, and you know that your client can be jailed or can be sentenced, and then in the constitution it states, it gives the maximum and the minimum, and you know that for this kind of offenses it is a life-changing sentence. What do you do as a lawyer? This is the question I pose to you, my brother, and the listeners. Let us put ourselves in Wuntumi's position and put ourselves in the lawyer's position. And I've stated all the facts and the timelines. So you be the judge. So my brother, you are not speaking to facts. Please, let's speak to facts.
Right. Makion, you mentioned that the judgment was actually unfair. What do you mean by unfair when you say that? How were you expecting it should have been?
So the absence of a lawyer, you see, he said a lot, and I want him to understand something. Speaking of facts, the absence of a lawyer cause a lot of harm than good. Let me tell you, no matter how nice your case is, if you present it from a layman's idea and you present it from a legal perspective, it sounds different. This is something we should understand, and this is what our my colleague here is refusing to admit.
No, no, that's not true. Please don't make bases that you don't have proof of. I beg you, Madam Host. Please let him speak to facts. Because I spoke to facts. I spoke to facts, my brother. Please speak to facts.
My colleague here is refusing to admit something, and that's what I'm mentioning. To talk of the impact of a lawyer, you cannot say that the absence of the lawyer didn't have impact on the judgment. Then we should go to court and go and speak for ourselves.
Please, I never said that. Madam Host, my listeners, did I ever say that impact? I am saying, and let me state. Hold on, please hold on.
You mentioned that if Atachian was there, that statement.
No, I was replying to what you said, that this sentence could have been different, or Atachia could have made a what? A difference if it was. And I'm telling you that in the law court, when there is evidence, right, against you, because I've been following. Hold on, let me just answer you so that
I know he's eating into your time.
Yes,
but I would like for him to clarify. Then
exactly.
Come up with your
what I was saying was, it wouldn't make a difference. I'm not sure it would make a difference because there was evidence, right? And if he has been following Wuntumi's case, we all knew where the case was going. Either it would have ended in a plea bargain or he would have still done time. You understand? So maybe what his lawyer could have done was possibly, I don't know, get him a lighter sentence, but he will still have not been shy of 10 years. Do you understand?
Right.
But my point that I'm making, that I want him to understand is, I'm saying that in the law courts, when there's evidence, usually, unless the lawyer is able to get a caveat to meander his way out of the situation, or a legality or something that happens that breaks the process, usually there's always sentencing. So what I'm saying is, yes, he could have, but in this case, no, listen to me. But in this case, hold on. I'm not contradicting. I'm saying that he could have.
I'm bad for a reason.
Hold on,
because he
could have.
Contradicting himself.
I'm not contradicting myself.
He's answering almost everything I want to say.
I'm clarifying it for you. That
it's sad.
Hold on, he could have. Hold on.
Because judgment has been passed.
No,
you want to find all ways.
No. I'm saying. See, let me tell you something.
It's not done that way.
Personally, me, I am sympathetic.
Oh, come on, man.
Trust me.
Something you people are
but what
over.
I am saying that when who's no.
Something you are jubilating over.
Who's jubilating over?
Come on.
You see that's the nobody's jubilating over anything.
Come on.
Hold on.
Let's be honest.
I am saying
that.
I'm saying that if his lawyer was there, it wouldn't have made much difference.
But it would have made
because
a difference.
Because evidence is there.
And no difference is not the same.
Makion, please,
English
my
is
brother.
very important, and let the listeners understand. Much difference and no difference is not the same.
No.
Right,
okay.
We have. You be concluding, so I can hear from Makion.
We have a sentence.
Can I conclude?
All right.
So I'm saying, please don't pick my words apart. Take it as I say it. I'm saying that I made two statements, or I made 2 points, in the sense that, how can you tell me that you knew that the sentence will be on this date, and you still decided to leave, even though your plea to for more time was rejected? That means that you are not taking your own clients, your own clients' livelihood into consideration. And I'm saying that, not doubting the fact that graduations are important, but my God, a man's life and graduation. And I'm saying that even if he was present, I'm not sure it would have made much difference, because there's evidence. You get it? And we all know that in the court, when there's evidence, when the evidence is stacked against you, by all means there will be a sentencing.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me correct the last statement.
All right, let me have you now.
When you have evidence against someone, does not necessarily mean the person will face a sentence. You know, in legal space, we have so much things we consider before we pass a sentence. And judges do not just sit down and pass figures and years on people. we have laws that guides every particular crime that is being committed. Moreover, the importance of a lawyer is to be able to influence a judge's decision, and that is what I want my brother to understand. He shouldn't distort the message out there. Lawyer Atachian is a very, very intelligent and a highly professional lawyer who has been in the space for so many years, and we know the impact of this lawyer in court. Not to talk of even lawyer Apia Kubi. These people are technicals who understand how to influence, judges' decisions. So to tell me that his absence couldn't have done any much difference, I'm telling you, the judge had the opportunity to give him a jail year between 15 to 30 years, like 15 to 25 years.
Yes.
And within 15 to 25 years, your lawyer's experience and his points could influence that particular age range. So, not to talk of even what happened. Lawyer Atachian's absence, using his other lawyers, gave one to me 20 years. Then, what are you saying that his absence didn't have influence on the case? Even those who are not lead lawyers are able to influence the judge to give him 20 years. What are you telling me? The lead lawyer having all facts on board, having confidential message, and you know one interesting thing about lawyers, on the day of judgments, they are able to break some silence to the court. If you've not been following court proceedings, I want my brother to start following court proceedings.
Please, I follow court proceedings.
And I want him to learn that.
No, but please speak to facts.
You see,
you are answer you when
judges.
You talk, I want you to speak.
Judges are so much intelligent that on the day of judgment, they ask their lawyers who are representing clients, is there anything you want to say? And sometimes they even give a break for you to go and have a confidential conversation. And in critical terms, judges are able to call the lawyers directly to his space, communicate with them individually before he passed the judgment. This should tell you that a lead lawyer is important in passing judgments like this. If you tell me that you overlook the fact that the man wasn't present and continue to pass the judgment, then you aren't being fair to the one-to-me man. That is where we stand.
So you think that if Atacha was to be available, his sentence would have been lighter?
Exactly. That's where we are talking from.
Right.
That's where we are talking from.
You still have chances to appeal. So
that is where I wanted to even come to. Exactly.
So
and that is what the cast of lawyers that they brought are doing now. And it is right.
And that is the legal team himself.
Exactly. So I wanted us to go there, but I wanted to wait.
Do not sit here and act as if lawyer Atachian wasn't fair to me.
I never said that.
Oh, you mentioned that.
No,
earlier.
I said
you mentioned that.
No,
I'm
saying
his lawyers did him a disservice.
I'm saying that they did him a disservice because if it was me, do you know why I'm saying that? I'm not saying that based on I'm saying that based on empathy, right? That if I am representing you, I was throwing it as a question, what I say, of conscience and empathy. That if I'm representing you, and I know that it is life and death. And before I even say that, you said 15 to 20 years. So if lawyer Atachian was there and then they gave him 15 years, you'll be okay with 15 years. Isn't it still a sentencing? That is what I'm saying that you don't get.
A reduction of 5 years at
least. Exactly. See,
but still obey them.
That is my question. Listen. What
and when
President Mahama
that number will have influence on that.
What President Mahama wants to do, right, with his regime is to make sure that precedents are not set and people are brought to book. Do you get it? So in my books, even if Ukodemu 5 years poor, we are happy because you caused major destruction to water bodies and the environment. So let's say that someone gets 5 years. Let's be honest, even if you get 1 year in jail, it is a lot. You will suffer. I have a friend that I grew up with. It was not like a friend, it was like an acquaintance. The jail actually changes you. Up to today, he's not like normal. He's not how he used to be. So if you are telling me that 15, I am stating that there would have still been a conviction. Why? because we have evidence and he actually did the thing. And what the government wants to do is to uphold rule of law and deter others from what? From following suit. Do you get me? So my question is that if I'm the lawyer, I'm still posing this question. No, the reason why I'm posing this question because it is a very serious issue that you people are defending. If it is someone's life and I'm his lawyer, even my daughter would understand, because my daughter would know. Can you tell me that lawyer is not a friend to me?
Continue.
Thank you. So if he is my friend, my daughter will know that I'm representing my friend. So if I call my daughter that, oh my darling, you know what, my friend, I need to be there for him. If I am not there, other people cannot do it. So are you trying to tell me that his lawyer didn't know that his subordinates
were competent enough to lead the case?
You get me? And then, like I read earlier, he's still not speaking to that too. It is on record that you tendered in to what? To get more time. Yeah. And it was what? It was rejected. 5 days clear of the judgment date. So what are you talking about? That's my only thing. And this one, I want the audience to be the judges, not you, because I know you'll be biased. You will be biased.
You definitely do.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And me, I am not taking the stand. Hold on, I'm not taking the stand of government in power. I'm taking the stand of the fact that somebody was destroying our water bodies. We are here every single day saying that we can't drink good water and all of this and all of that.
God.
Somebody was destroying the environment. Somebody was destroying water. Do you get it? And then you think that if I want to go and get a concession and go and engage in maybe not concession, like engage in illegal mining, you think that having seen this, you think I'll make that same mistake?
Right. Anyway, let me bring Makion in.
I won't say much about this because decisions have already been made.
Yeah.
We have a battle ahead of us as a political party, and we've intervened just to help the right thing to be done. Moreover,
what do you think the right
yes,
thing
yes.
to be?
Moreover, I've spoken about the absence of the lawyer and its implication in this particular ruling.
Is that the only defect you find in the judgment?
It's parts. It's
so
parts,
but
I'll come to the other side of it.
Right.
Currently, what we are focusing on is that the Court of Appeal will listen to our humble plea and will not politicize anything in this particular
Please,
matter.
it will not be politicized. Please stop saying that.
Why are you speaking for the Court of Appeal?
Apologies. I just want him to stop saying that.
But why are you speaking for the Court of Appeal?
I think we've been unfair to Makion.
All right.
Exactly.
All right. Because he has been unfair to me. He's not speaking.
He's
not speaking facts. No, he's not speaking facts.
It was like
I am
you
telling
time
him.
You also time you. Now
I am telling him.
No. He's not speaking facts because what I'm saying is that he's speculating.
You are just trying to distort.
Oh, sorry.
The knowledge out there.
All right. I'm sorry.
He doesn't want
that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You don't want that career to understand me.
Please flow for me.
You know, as I was saying, the MPP as a political party, we are so much interested in helping our colleague to get a fair judgment. Not to talk of this whole concession thing. The court never and ever had a solid evidence to prove that Untumi was doing illegal mining. The land he was mining was given to him legally. Moreover, it was a delegated land that he gave to someone that, okay, I am doing coconut plantation at this particular place, and my whole idea behind the coconut plantation is to fill the areas Galamsey has been done there.
But before you do coconut plantation, are you not supposed to reclaim the land before?
That is what he was doing. So you cannot, do the plantation in the pit. So you have to reclaim. So alongside, according to the witness for the court against Untumi, who is Untumi's worker. Exactly. He said that Untumi gave him the land and didn't give him any money in addition to it. Therefore, he's supposed to do the mining, that's the illegal mining, to extract the resources, then use the resources to do what? To reclaim the land. Oh yes, this is a fact-based conversation.
You just mentioned illegal mining. That answers the whole thing. You just mentioned. You said that the court had no evidence, but you just mentioned illegal mining.
I don't know why he's refusing.
He's trying not to interject.
I won't interject. I just want to state for.
Don't worry. So you can just jot it down. When I come to you, then you point
illegal
out.
mining.
You see?
Right.
Oh my God.
Sorry about that.
So he was engaged in the process and was doing it with an intention of doing what? Claiming the land. Do you know that act was classified as illegal when the Galamsey task force that are being assigned by the government to fight Galamsey, the task force that are being assigned by government to fight Galamsey, got there and noticed that the action ongoing there is not being done by Akonta Mining, but it is being done by someone who has been delegated power by Akonta Mining. This is the conversation. So Woon to me, as an individual, never engaged in illegal mining, but illegal mining was being acted in his name, and for that matter, the court based on and some other basic evidence to do what? To pass a judgment. The New Patriotic Party, we are coming in this time around to let the court also understand that if you arrest someone for illegal mining, that person must face the illegal mining action. The contract between Wontumi and Henry could be that go and mine, and not even go and mine illegally. The contract between them could be that Akonta Mining is working here, be our supervisor. But in order for Henry to find his way out, he has to just align with the court's assumptions and do what? And let Wontumi be guilty of the case. We are coming in this time around not just to defend Wontumi, but to clear the name Wontumi from all Galamsey activities, because Wontumi has been one of the people who have been fighting Galamsey in Ghana, and I'm saying this on records.
Oh really?
Yes, yes.
He has been an advocate.
He has even reported people to the Ashanti Regional Minister, the former Ashanti Regional Minister, that people so and so are doing Galamsey at this particular area. This is the records of Wontumi. So he's not somebody. Think of it as a rational human being. Your party being in power, your party issuing over 2,000 plus licenses to people to do mining, legal mining, that's small scale mining. You being a regional party chairman, will you sit there and say that for me, I have all the powers and I won't go for license?
Who does Akonta Mining belong to?
That's for Wontumi.
It's for Wontumi.
That's for Wontumi. And I'm telling you that
your own party member, which was Chimapo, Samuel Chimapo, said that Akonta Mining was involved in illegal mining.
That wasn't a factual conversation. Moreover, any activity by Akonta Mining is backed by license. Anything they are doing, you can't tell me, you can't sit here to tell me that Akonta Mining does not have a license to operate as a mining company. So all the concessions Akonta Mining is working with, you see, it could be that maybe even Judinapo did not have a good relationship with him. That doesn't distort the fact that he can go out and say anything he want to say.
Right. So in your point of view, why do you think Wontumi was convicted?
It's like an agent and a client relationship. Anyone who acts in your name one way or the other is acting like you. So if I sit here and I represent my brother somewhere, I go and say whatever my brother wants to say. So if Henry and Wontumi is having that agent relationship, that's under law of contract. We have agent and client relationship. If he acts in illegal way, then we can say Wontumi has practiced what is called illegal mining. That is what the court based on, and from the court judgment to say that Wontumi has been involved in Galamsey activity. Not Wontumi as a person, but Wontumi as a representative by an agent. This is where we are coming from, and this is where we want the Court of Appeal to consider the decisions of the court that Wontumi himself has been fighting for this thing to be done in the right way. So if Henry has been caught in this particular act, then we should consider Wontumi and reduce his sentences, or either let him be fined or something else, but not to let him be in jail and serve 20 years imprisonment.
Let me read a part of the judgment.
Okay.
The court found that no ministerial approval had ever been sought or obtained for the mining activity. The fact Wontumi did not challenge or dispute.
Okay, so let me address that particular issue. You see, when he gave the concession to Henry to continue the process, the law says that you have to go, because you are giving a concession to someone else, so you have to go in for documents, and that's the documentation aspect he didn't do. The ministry has to approve for Wontumi to do what? To give the land out, but Wontumi didn't do that part of it, and that is the reason why the court is passing all these judgments. We are not saying the judgment the court is passing, the evidences and everything are wrong, but we are saying that certain things should be it should be reconsidered.
How should it be reconsidered if the person didn't dispute that he gave the concession without ministerial approval?
Ignorance of the law isn't an excuse, and I want to build a point from that angle. The fact that Wontumi didn't know, or Wontumi didn't inform the ministry that this is his action he is going to do, as an honest person, from my political angle, I would say that. Yet the courts, looking at some activities and the contribution of Akonta mining to Ghana's economy. Oh yes, Akonta mining, you can read more about Akonta mining. It is one of the productive mining companies in Ghana, especially from that region. So looking at his contribution and everything, and sentencing the CEO of Akonta mining for 20 years imprisonment as a result of not taking an official notice, I think, from my honest opinion, looking at his contribution to the economy, then that particular thing should have been reconsidered. That yet you did something against our laws. That is not an excuse. Moreover, your contribution to the economy is also significant, and we should make sure we pass a judgment that one way or the other will not affect you in a very long term. Thinking of losing the position of CEO of Akonta mining for 20 good years, when you come back, how are you going to trace your balances? How are you going to
But did you think about that before indulging in such an activity?
That's why I made I made a point that the fact that he didn't inform the courts, he didn't inform the ministry, doesn't necessarily mean that the court should base on to give him a long sentence in prison.
But according to the Minerals Act, they said a minimum of 15 years.
Yes.
And a maximum of 25 years. And per report, the judge gave Wontumi 20 years because he has been obedient, let me put it that way, and being very cooperative when it comes to that. So what is the ish?
So if we have 15 and you give me 20, and you tell me 20 is because I've been obedient, then what happened to the 15?
Well, you can appeal for that.
So and you know, one of the most interesting thing about appealing is that let me help my brother, because I know he's doing a lot of research. So
I'm not doing research.
Whatever you are researching,
I'm not doing research. I'm listening to you, and I'm just like you advised. I'm jotting down my replies.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
very cooperative.
You see,
so if you were a judge, you would give me what 20 years ago.
You see the So the 15 years I was talking about could have been considered, and if he was to be given 15 years, Court of Appeal has his own way of doing his things.
Right. So you have the chances to appeal, Court of Appeal,
and we are in the process.
Right
now, we don't want to argue much about it,
either increase it or either overturn it. So these are the chances.
Right now we are not.
You are a learned host.
Right now we are not much interested in the argument back to back. He didn't do.
Okay, so
right
you
now
are
our
pleading
focus
on the court to
is that
reconsider.
when we meet the Court of Appeal, the Court of Appeal should listen to us and not politicize the action, but make sure he considers the significant contribution of Untumi in the mineral sector. Then see how best he can, free things.
Are you done?
Exactly.
You're satisfied?
Oh, yes.
All right, thank you.
So I'll start from the top. My brother, it will not be politicized. It would be the rule of law, right, would take charge. What I believe in.
That's your assurance. Okay.
Madam Host.
You want to do that?
Oh, that's
ask him, because he knows I can do that. So, I'm telling you today because I said it earlier that I've read how will I say, what the new lawyers have put together, right, to take to the Court of Appeal. And by all means, it is a legal proceeding, so do it. You get it, like you rightfully mentioned, it can either get it overturned or increased. So make sure that your defense is strong. And once the judge, and please don't say that they should look at his contributions to Ghana's reserves or whatnot. Please, let's talk about what the person has done. Do you get it? Is it a crime? It is not about, okay, so let me ask you a question. If I murder people, right? I'm not saying anybody say, but if I murder people, right, and then I am a philanthropist, should you tell me that because I give to the poor and the needy and widowed, when I am caught killing somebody, I should be given a lighter sentence? No, just answer me yes or no. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Do you know what's the disaster actually cost?
Thank you. You see, all they care about. Madam Host.
When you say Madam Host kill the person, it's a different.
Madam Host.
No.
Exactly.
Madam Host.
When you say Untumi kill someone, it's a different matter.
We'll not put it in
that. We shouldn't play around words.
You told me, and I'm not playing around words. I am giving examples.
The example you are giving that
just like you said,
what we are talking about here.
In water.
No, let's be honest to our
lead in water, which
the
is deforming babies. That's not. Do you know that lead in? Can you allow me make a statement, please? Makion.
Can you withdraw it?
No, I am not saying that. It was an example.
To murder someone is something different.
No.
Something serious.
To
kill someone.
Thank you.
So put a statement right.
So what I want to say is that
he's writing that.
So what? No, hold on.
Because of what? NDC.
No.
Don't
do
that.
You see, you're
no.
We are here
to
educate.
Here to compare to a murder case. Are you serious?
You are very calm, but
hold on.
I am here to compare this
Madam Host.
Can you put it in a better context?
Can you let him know that I kept quiet when he was making his submission?
But
so no, I was fuming. I was fuming that I hold on.
Make a different comparison. No. I'll agree with that.
No, I'm not going to say that because you would agree with that. I'm not saying that Untumi murdered somebody. I am making a statement. And I have every right to make it. And I'm saying that you are saying that because Untumi's operations, right? Just like you rightfully said, lead poisoning and a lot of environmental degradation, right? Have caused by his actions, okay, or his counterpart's actions, like you said, acting on his behalf. And I'm saying, you stated that they should, the court, you are saying that the court should consider the contributions that this gold has. Didn't this gold enrich Untumi? And who is Untumi to MPP? Madam Host, please, who is Untumi to MPP?
He's the Ashanti regional minister.
Thank you. So if you are
also the bank of the.
Thank you. So if you are engaging in these things and you are getting proceeds from it, where would these monies go more? You are telling me that the court should exercise restraint or should also try to be understanding. Courts don't work with understanding. Courts work with evidence. Please do understand me. That's why I made an example. Not that Untumi. I would never say Untumi is a murderer. I never said that. I'm saying that if you say that this person was causing havoc, right, somewhere for his benefit and for the benefit of your party, and I'm asking you, so if I'm speaking about myself, I'm asking if I am a murderer or I steal. Okay, let me change the murder because maybe that felt so. If I am a thief, right, and I steal things, what I say, people work hard for their money and I just siphon it, I launder their money, I do wire fraud, right, and then I use this wire fraud to help people and I am caught. Should I be given a lighter sentence because I am Robin Hood? Is that what you are saying? So let's talk about Kumi, the guy who was extradited. Abu Trika has helped a lot of people, has he not? Yeah. But did he change the fact that he still committed wire fraud? He didn't. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That make your case clean and clear. Go to the court of appeal, and if you can get it overturned, fine. There's no problem. But don't make statements that the judge should exercise restraint or should be lenient because your mining operations were a contribution to Ghana. What are you talking about? That means that you don't even know what contributes to GDP more. Fine. Let me answer another one. You were also talking about ignorance of the law. That is why you have a lawyer. Isn't that the reason why you engage the services of a lawyer? If I get a case, right, would I go to court and represent myself? No, I cannot do it to the best of my knowledge. So what do? I contract the services of a lawyer. So why didn't Wontumi get legal counsel? Or as his lawyer, you are supposed to advise him on what he has to do, because like you are rightfully mentioning, but with the wrong word, it's client an attorney privilege, right? Why didn't your lawyer advise you? Let me continue talking about the illegal mining. You are talking about that they didn't find any evidence, and Madam Host, you rightfully read it to him. Justice Audrey ultimately convicted Wontumi personally on 2 of the 6 counts, right? Count 1 and 4, with Akunta Mining convicted on 2 counts, ruling the prosecution had proven all essential elements beyond reasonable doubt. The court found that Wontumi knowingly permitted small-scale miner Henry Okum to carry out mining operation on Akunta Mining concession without the mandatory ministerial approval. You mentioned that, Madam Host. He wasn't listening. He doesn't listen to facts. Please, can I finish? Let me make my statement. Let me finish my statement. On Akunta, let me finish what I said. On Akunta Mining's concession without the mandatory ministerial approval required by law. Crucially, the court found that Okum testified he didn't know Akunta Mining as a company at all. He knew the operations only as Chairman Wontumi, and that Wontumi's own witness statement admitted he helped Okum source excavators and enlisted regional security support to protect the mining operations on that basis. The court held Wontumi was true. On that basis, the court held Wontumi was the true de facto holder of the mineral rights, and convicted him personally, not just as a company director once removed. So let me tell you, you are saying acclamation and Kube. Who takes security for Kube? And you know, when they call the witness to ask about how much it cost to get to do an acclamation, he said millions of dollars. His own witness's mouth. Tell me, how many acres of Kube do you have to even be able to amass that amount of money? And coming to the fact that you need regional police protection, which you got on your own letterhead. You Wontumi wrote it on your own letterhead, right? To get regional securities protection. What are you talking about? I've just read facts here for you. My question is, when we come on radio, right, or when we get the opportunity to be on TV, let us educate the people. Let us give them the facts. You see, I may be tagged as an NDC communicator, but I'm also a Ghanaian. Do you understand? And yes, I sympathize to such a way, because Wontumi can be my father. Do you get it? So of course nobody would be happy if someone is going into 20 years, but should we say that because of this we should allow lawlessness to prevail? Then let us all take our hoe and hammer and go and mine. I am here slaving, doing 9 to 5, making sure that I can make ends meet. Can't I also just go to one place where they will tell me that there is gold, and then go and just be illegally mining, and then in the next year I'll become a rich person? What are you talking about? What my government wants to do is make sure that the rule of law is upheld. That's why I'm telling you that first, the things you have to do that you are doing now is make your case, go to the appeal court, get it overturned if you can. Secondly, like the way you are saying that we should prosecute our own people, of course, if you have evidence, present it. It will be done, because the Attorney General has a lot of cases that he's prosecuted, and then he does not attach any favoritism, even though he was appointed by the president, right? He is supposed to act without any bias. or without any favoritism. I've made my submission.
Right. Before I move to you, that will be the last question I'll have for you on this particular topic before we delve briefly into our next topic for discussion. Just this morning, I saw in the news that Wontumi apologizes to Mahama and First Lady and appeals for clemency. Do you think that there's equally a chance that the president will actually pardon Wontumi?
That one, it depends on the president,
but
honestly.
In your opinion?
In my opinion. What I would say is, it's hard for me to speak in the president's capacity because you see, even though I am sympathetic and I empathize with Chairman Wontumi on what it is, like I said earlier, he can be my father. But the question is, if we let this go, right? I'm just speaking if I was in the president's shoes. If we let this go, wouldn't it set a bad precedent? You get it? And then, presidents are very, very dangerous. Once you cross that line as the president, if maybe one of our own is convicted of the same crime, and then the president doesn't move to do what we are talking about right now, what do you think party faithfuls or people who sympathize would say? So honestly, it's a very, very dicey thing, and I can't really give an answer, but I really hope that everything works out for Chairman Wontumi. Yes,
we wish him the best.
Of course.
I'm not happy that Chairman Wontumi has been
arrested, of course,
and convicted. But looking at the campaign message the NDC came with, that they are going to make sure that they arrest all the kingpins. So if you've gotten hold of one, why do you want to pardon that person? I'll be very disappointed if the president pardoned Wontumi.
Thank you.
If you're caught doing the bad thing, I think they should take you on.
Yes.
My opinion.
Yes.
And come for me.
Yes, and if you have other people also that you feel like they are maybe NDC
equally
people,
doing the same
please
thing,
provide evidence, and then it will be taken. Yeah. If you provide evidence and they don't do it, then you have a case. Now you have no case.
Right. So what is likely to happen now that the NPP legal team has taken over Wontumi's defense? What should we be expecting? What is your expectation?
Let me make a point clear to my brother.
You have 1 minute.
Let me make a point clear to my brother here. With matters of your contribution to community, under Article 19 of the 1992 Constitution, gives a person the permit to also get a fair trial from the courts. Moreover, whatever is happening to Wontumi today, his contribution to the community can't be overlooked. And that is what the Constitution says. And I want you to understand. This is the law. Under Article 19. So his contribution to the community really, pays a significant contribution in the court proceedings. And the Court of Appeal has every right to, based on that too, to make some decisions to be taken.
Right. I think with this particular appeal, one of the lawyers in courts actually raises for the fact that Wontumi has employed a lot of people, but it was still overlooked and the sentence was still given.
That is what I'm saying.
So let's see
how it goes.
And that's
all
why,
the best.
And that's why we are the Court of Appeal.
And so please
and that's
go
why
there.
We are the Court of Appeal.
All the
so
best.
if it backfires there, I'm not saying that it should backfire, but if it should backfire, that means you are going to the Supreme Court.
We will. Okay. We will go till we are done.
You go till you are done.
Exactly, because the law should speak for itself.
Right, and what you all are pleading for is consideration, that the sentence should be reduced, or you don't see that Wontumi did anything wrong.
We from all evidences on point and from all facts raised as at now, we cannot say Wontumi is not guilty or Wontumi is innocent of this particular case. Moreover, I have stated law of contract, explaining that if someone acts on your behalf, you are being considered to be the one who is acting. So Wontumi, one way or the other, is the one who has been engaged in the act. Again, we are saying that the Court of Appeal should consider some contributions of Wontumi to the Ghana economy, especially on the side of the mining industry, employment basis, and he was talking about even Wontumi being a party financier and those things. don't forget that the monies to me is giving out. One way or the other, he's employing people too, and which is going a long way to help the entire community. It's not about political status. If you speak from that angle, then you are specifically targeting a political person. If we are treating Wontumi as a Ghanaian, then we should treat him as a Ghanaian. If you are treating him as a politician, then we should pick him as a politician and deal with him that this is an MPP person who has engaged in illegal mining activities, and we are sentencing him.
Madam Host, if you would allow me, let me just say something because of what he said. Because I just want to make a statement for the listeners.
He will be forced to.
No, I'm not sure he has to.
Yeah.
All I want to say is that
if he doesn't say the truth, I'll come again.
No.
So please,
Madam Host, you know I have been speaking with facts. Anybody who has been listening will know that the only thing I've said is fact. I'm saying that.
No one is
so that means that Ghanaians, your MPP communicator is saying that let us all engage in illegal things. And then if we can that is what that's what you are insinuating. That is what you are insinuating. You are insinuating that we should give lighter sentences. No, don't do that.
You use the constitution to judge someone.
I mentioned here.
You are challenging
his judgment.
Why is it a part of the constitution?
So wait, hold on.
You trust in it.
You know that in the first place, you said
what is happening?
You were stating that there was no evidence.
You are letting
hold on.
Doing that.
You were saying that.
Why he's doing that?
You were saying that there's no. You see what I want to speak to is I want them to admit, which he has admitted, that there's evidence. But earlier on this show, exactly, it's not what it's guilty.
Yeah.
But earlier on this show, he was saying that Wontumi is not that guilty and there's no substantial evidence. But all I wanted to say, that's what you
incorrect.
said, Madam Host.
All right, gentlemen.
Anyway, let's move on. No, that's not incorrect.
Calm down.
Playback. Madam Host, playback for him.
Playback and listen.
Thank you so much.
Pay attention.
Thank you.
These are the people who go to classroom and they don't pay attention.
Are you sure?
They don't pay attention.
Definitely, there's going to be a new development on the case of Wontumi. Now that we found out that the NPP legal team has. You'll be giving me clock it.
Oh yeah.
You go and meet them in court of law.
Oh yeah.
They should go and meet.
Yeah, so there's definitely going to be a new development on the case of Chairman Wontumi. Now that we've seen, according to reports, that the NPP legal team has taken over, that means that Wontumi automatically. That means that Wontumi is not represented by Atachia or represented by.
No, it's a whole team.
It's a whole team. Yeah. A whole team. Warriors. Yes, they are going to fight up for Wontumi.
And you hear from us.
Yeah, he has said it all.
Oh, yeah.
That we'll definitely.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our next topic briefly before we call it a wrap. The 2026 mid-year budget review. One question that keeps popping up is the economy actually recovering, and are Ghanaians feeling the impact? I'll begin with you.
Okay. This morning, I will say a very big thank you to all your listeners, my team, Chief Marianne, and all the team. I mean, they are doing a very great job understanding the financial state Ghana is in right now. Today, it's quite unfortunate that the NDC sits and always say that Sika wa Mainimu. Meanwhile, there are a lot of facts to back that the Ghana economy is really struggling. You see, you can make your books nice, but in actual sense, if it is not being felt in the pockets of the people, then what are you doing? Are you robbing Peter to pay Paul? You know, you in the international market, what your book says is being used to rank your performance. So Ghana is currently, performing well out there. But when you pass Tudu and you pass Mokola and you go to the market, then you will see that Ghana is struggling than before. The ordinary market woman is there sleeping every day. I got in touch with some of the market women, and funny enough, they were like, the number of sellers in the market is more than the number of buyers in the market. And if you have economy like this, then what is the future of the economy?
So why do you think people are not purchasing?
They don't have money. And I will explain. Yes, there is no money in the economy. As at 2025 July, the BOG brought its monetary policy report out, and they explain how they are reducing the inflation. You see, the minority and IMF, as at that time, was really fighting this government on the style or the debt to equity style we are using as a nation, where we are extracting or mopping up all or huge sums of money from our economy just to create inflation. Let me tell you, somewhere in 2023, when our inflation was hitting 54%, it wasn't as a result of we having or we facing hardship, but it was as a result of we facing international battles, including high fuel prices, including high oil prices at the international markets. That is why we experienced that 54%. Now in 2024, within that short space, we were able to reduce inflation from 54% to 23% without, and I want the NDC to understand this once and for all. Parliament is a house of records, and nothing will pass through Parliament that we will say is a lie. This is a clear statement from Parliament. Ghana did not spend a penny on reducing inflation from 2023 to 2024. We spent $0. Today, the NDC, through its way of reducing inflation in the country, yes, only penny with them. They really want to go a single digit like we did in our first 3 years, that's 2017 to 2019. They really want to do the same thing, and they are struggling. Today, Bank of Ghana, according to their report on July 2025, stated clearly that they spent 16 billion Ghana cedis in making sure that they get inflation to a single digit. This is where we find ourselves as a nation. And spending the 16 billion Ghana cedis is not the problem. What happened? They mopped up over 93 billion Ghana cedis from the economy. When we say they are mopping up 93 billion Ghana cedis, what we are trying to say is that the money circulating within the system, they absorbed it to the central bank so that it won't flow. Then it will cause a limited amount of cash in the system. This is pure economics. Then the limited amount of cash in the system will lead to will lead to reduction in inflation.
My God.
This is where we find ourselves. Today, everything or prices of goods and services has been reduced. Exchange rate is okay. But ask yourself, why is it that the purchasing power is less? Because the purchasing power that was circulating, the money, the inflow of cash that was circulating within the system has been reduced. The person who was able to employ 10 people now is going on redundancy. The person who was able to buy things with with small amount of money, even at huge prices, now cannot buy at small prices with huge money. This should let you understand that Sikano anyhow, and this is the reality. We shouldn't distort from that, and we shouldn't let the Ghanaian assume that yehontoyen. Meanwhile, internally yehontoyen. Cocoa farmers who we were paying them 3,000 plus when we were using the forward contract system, where we agree with the cocoa farmer that this is the amount of money we'll give you, whether there is inflation or there is deflation, whether there is a market price increasing or there is market price reduction, this is the amount we are going to give you. This same thing, this same law was abided by Akufo-Addo when he assumed office in 2017, when cocoa prices shoot at the international markets. He still paid them the amount they deserve. When this government came, because he was chasing and creating an artificial inflation system, this government had to do what? Had to reduce the prices of cocoa. And today, the cocoa farmer's income is less. The purchasing power of the cocoa farmer, you are saying cement has been reduced, and now cement is around 95 cedis. Fine. How much are you paying the cocoa farmer to go and buy that cement? We cannot hide behind mathematics, economics, finance, accounting, and let Ghanaians feel they are not doing the best. Honestly, Ghanaians are fighting so hard. People are working. You know, unemployment rates. Let me take that one quickly, then I end. unemployment rate, according to the Ghana Statistical Services, has reduced and now is 12%. I think it's 12.5% now.
Yeah.
Which it sounds so nice and good in our books. But do you know that prices of food has increased by 38.1% according to Ghana Statistical Service? You can check.
That's not true.
Prices of food. This is serious. This is serious. Today, under the MPP, we were buying a box of tomato, the full box. As at 2024, we were buying it 3,000 Ghana cedis. Today, that box of tomato is around 7,000 Ghana cedis.
Fresh tomatoes.
Fresh tomatoes. So if you sit and you compare certain things like rice, then I ask you that, is the bag of rice the same as it were? Let's take it from that angle. The quantity of rice has even reduced. Oh yes.
They've reduced it.
Go to the market and ask. Now rice is being most rice is being measured in 4.5 kg.
Thank you.
I will sit here. I will sit here. I will sit here and lie to Ghanaians.
You are lying.
Anyone can put it under the comment section and write a list of rice and their kgs. The rice that are being measured in 5 kg, I'm telling you today, they are still the prices and even higher prices that we are buying them in 2025. I won't sit here to lie to your audience.
Right. Makion, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. See how I'm comporting myself.
So
please,
Makion, can you
admonish him.
No,
Exactly.
No, this budget I have a lot to say.
Don't worry.
No, it's not about you have a lot to say. It's about
he's right away from the budget.
No, I am not. I am here to
this
talk
budget.
about
Let's go.
The question was, right, how is it affecting the pockets
The ordinary Ghanaian.
of the ordinary Ghanaian? Cocoa farmers alone don't constitute the whole Ghana.
Yeah.
I want to teach my brother something, and then also to help, because like I keep on saying, whenever we get time to come on radio and TV, we have to teach. We have to give facts, not speculate.
I never speculated around anything. I don't know why he's trying to create that impression out there.
Madam Host,
I'm giving you facts from BOG.
Makion, please let me make my statement. You spoke.
Continue.
You spoke. I didn't talk. I'm making my point.
But I won't sit here for you to say certain
No, you are
things I didn't
speculating.
say.
Please,
That's wrong.
let me go to the inflation rate he was talking about, right? In 2023, I would give you all of that. In 2023, right? Our inflation rate, please hold on. Let me pull up this thing that good. In 2022, right, under your government, our inflation rate was at 31.3%. In 2023, even at the end of 2022, you mentioned yourself, it moved to 54. 2023, it moved to 38. 2024, it moved to what? It came down to 22.9. Madam Host, how many months have we taken office? It is not even 2 years.
18 months.
We now have a single digit, right? Which is 5 point. What? Please mention it. You know that.
Continue.
You get it. We now have 5.3%. In just we are not even a year yet. And let me explain what inflation is. Inflation rate in Ghana is the speed at which prices of goods. Maybe they don't know, because some people don't even understand what's GDP. The prices for goods and services go up over time or come down. So what I want to talk about is, you see, what my government is focused on, and then Honorable Cassiel always speaks about it. He says that the economy was mismanaged, which it was. And now this government is running a lean government, and we are running fiscal policies to make sure that we don't wait, we stop the bleeding. So when we came to meet a disorganized economy. And then can you imagine that we came to meet such how will I say, let me use a very big word, a messed up economy, that just before the mark of 2 years we've been able to achieve a single digit, because we left a working economy for you. Fine. Less buying power. What does it mean for the normal Ghanaian? It means that they cannot go and purchase, they can purchase fewer items, right? And then cost of living. But if inflation rates come down, what happens? It means that cost of living comes down, right? And then our buying power increases. You see, he's talking about the fact that there are more people in the market selling, and what are you talking about? These are not quantitative analysis. You don't come here and speculate.
Seriously?
You speak to 1 or 2, 3. Do you know that mostly in Ghana? Please let me land. Oh God.
Like seriously?
Let me speak. Let's look at the exchange rate today. Like it or not, the power of the cedi, allows or helps stabilizes the country. Your flag bearer spoke that he can arrest the dollar. He had 8 years. He kept on arresting him rather. What have we done? It's almost 2 years and we have stabilized the cedi. What does this stabilization mean for the Ghanaian people? That means that when we are importing, let's be honest, this is what even my party has said, that we want to make sure that we create a lot of industry so that import rates or like importing can come down. So if the cedi is stabilized, what happens to the economy? Now when importers are bringing food in, they bring it in at a lower price because they have a buying power. Like our cedi is stronger against the dollar, right? So it directly affects the normal buyer, because if I am a seller and I go and purchase my goods at a good rate, when I come, I'll make sure that I give fair prices to the normal person. Let's look at fuel prices. In your government, fuel prices were high. Today you are saying that we've been introduced the 1 cedi levy, but still I can attest to the fact that our fuel is still lower than yours. You said that COVID-19 and Russian war was worrying you at that time. Today we still have the Iran and American war, don't we? But we have still managed to stabilize the fuel prices. What does that mean? It means that our government can manage things better than yours. Why am I saying this? You see, Dr. Atuforsin realized that it is not about the spending, it's about the management and discipline. That's how come President Mahama made sure that he's running a lean government, and he made sure that the SOEs, right, the state-owned enterprises, usually in your time they move out of budget, right? They move out of, please, how many minutes do I have so that I you said
1 minute.
All right, they move out of budget. Do you understand? So they move out of budget, right? And what happened? If these state-owned enterprises are moving out of budget, it affects the government. Do you understand? If they are in budget, government has more money to roll over. Let me move on to the next one. Let's look at roads we are constructing now under the big push. 87. Oh no, do you know that?
I have a lot to say.
Hold on, no. It's for lack of time, Madam Host. Yeah, but I have a full list of all the roads. I wish that I could get time. Hold on, please, Makion. I didn't cut you.
I will not allow you to
yes.
have all to say.
I'm saying that.
But that's with
Madam Host,
Madam Host,
I brought all the 87 because I know that people are disputing that fact. I can mention all the 87 roads that we want to touch, and the ones that are 50% complete. Madam Host, just to ask a last question. I've spoken about inflation.
Yes.
Inflation is down. Unknown to the normal Ghanaian, if inflation is down, right, country no more there because now your purchasing power goes up, right? If roads are good, your suppliers, you yourself moving from place to place, and are we not paying lower fees now? In their government, every single 3 months, GPRTU, they're just increasing high.
But GPRTU is trying to induce 30%.
I know that, but I'm saying that based on the statistics, right? They were increasing it every 3 months or even 2 months or less. And even that 30% is what they are. Hold on, there is factual, please. They are trying. Please, Makion, let me land, madam. They are trying, but it's not something that is done yet. I'm saying that all of these things, the city's appreciation, the roads that we are doing, right, the big push, all these, how will I say, our image in the Western world. He mentioned something which is very wrong, and as a political person, he has to know that every country, even every company or every human being, you see, usually we shy away from borrowing, but usually debt sometimes can be used to build wealth. That is, if you can manage it well. Right. What we are doing, just to wrap up, I'll just say we are making sure that we are fiscally disciplined. We are managing the government well. There's no time. I would have mentioned more because I prepared a whole a whole paragraph because I knew all, because I've gone to other radio shows where they've spoken about the same things. But here, let me speak to the normal Ghanaian. Inflation rates being down means that you have more money to purchase things, right?
That's wrong.
It's not wrong, please. It is not wrong. It's not wrong. It's not wrong.
Finish.
When our fuel prices are lower, means that it will have an effect on our what? On our lorry fare, our food and everything. Let me talk about the last thing. Do you know that Ghanaians, we are our own problems? Just the last thing. You know that Ghanaians, we are our own problems. Do you know what I'm saying? That our own problem, because when prices come down, we'll talk. But the question is, these suppliers do not reduce their what? Their prices.
Right.
So it's not that the government is not doing. The government is doing, but our own people, we are our own doom.
Right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Time wouldn't allow us.
No, time won't allow. If you allow him, you have to allow me finish.
Yes.
Oh no!
Don't set a bad precedent.
No.
What is that? I can't sit here for
Mr. Kwesi, I can show you a list of what I wanted to
say. Let me conclude. You let me conclude.
No. If you conclude, I have to conclude.
With your permission, I want to conclude.
My producer, you set a bad precedent.
Producer is not listening to what you're
saying. Yes, thank you very much. You set a bad precedent.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
This is not fair to
you so much for joining us on the Ghana Talks show. Thank you so much, Mr. Elliot, Mr. John. Thank you for joining us right here on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We had such an incredible time. We'll meet same time tomorrow. Do have a lovely day.